Hey, Layla. I haven't even gone live on TikTok yet. You guys are early. Hold on. Hey, Epsilon. Yeah, it's probably alright. Hey, Mim. Hey, Tina. Hey, Skylar. Hey, Jamal. Howdy, Homac. Good evening, Ann. Hey, Wikigore. Hey, Allison. Hey, Kay. Hey, Ferntor. Hey, Sage. Live on in a Saturday. Am I tripping? It's always Wednesdays and Saturdays, Kevin. That's been the schedule for like 2 months now. Hey, Randy. Hey, Christina. Hey, Sally. Hey, Alec. Hey, Tina. 8 out of 10 patients already is crazy. Listen, just regular life has me at an 8 out of 10 right now. Can't wait for Trump to seek retribution against Democrats. Why? What does he have to seek retribution for? Hey, Korea. Hey, SpongeBob. Hey, Kylie. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Harper. Hey, does it say Angular Jackson? I'm not gonna lie, my eyes are not eyeing right now. I should get my actual reading glasses. Hey, Sacha. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We're gonna get started shortly. Hey, Jinx. Hey, Risa. Eyes are not Isaacing. Hey, Sweet Pea. Hey, Alec. Hey, Tweenie. That damn smirk. Hey, Victoria. Hey, Mallory. Hey, Katrina. Hey, No Fun Jay. Hey, Ginger. Hey, please cheese me. Go to thumbnail. Oh, thank you. I gotta figure out like what to do with the thumbnails for every day on YouTube because like when they say the VODs save, it's always the same thumbnail, and I don't like that. So maybe I should update it with the date or something. I don't know. Stop the cap. Why are liberals delusional? Hey, wait. Request up. Tell me how I'm delusional. Hold on. I sent him a request. Chat. Over under on if he accepts. He said we're delusional, right? Should be really easy to prove that we're delusional. Why isn't he accepting? Can I ask you, like, do you think Trump won because most of America lacks political insight? I think that's probably a big part of it. Um, there's a lot of reasons, but certainly a lack of understanding of politics is one of them. Hey Annie, hey Miss Montana.
You talk about extreme.
Thank you, Hector. Thank you for being live on my birthday, Dan. Happy birthday, unworn, unworn soldier. Happy birthday. Needed a strong president. Yeah, I wish we had a strong president like Kamala. Instead, we have this thin-skinned, weak-willed, baby-back bitch who couldn't bother to do a 60 Minutes interview because Leslie Stahl hurt his feelings the first time he did one. He couldn't bother to show up to the Republican primary debates because he knew Nikki Haley would eat his ass up. No, yeah, I agree. We do need a strong president. It sucks that we don't have one. Hi, welcome up.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on?
What does strong president mean to you, Mr. Kitty Cat Short? Can you explain that one?
I would say someone
If
who
you're all about strong, please tell me.
yeah, I would say someone who's able to accept criticism, somebody who's able to um, challenge themselves, and I think it's very clear that Donald Trump can't do either of those things. He is never able to accept criticism, and certainly doesn't like to challenge himself. I mean, we saw Kamala Harris go to a Fox News interview, and Donald Trump would never even fathom going to an MSNBC interview. Anytime he's faced with any kind of harsh reality, rather than rising up and meeting the challenge, he just blames other people. It's not a good leader to just constantly pass the buck. I mean, the fact that all he had to do, we had a national tragedy, right? 67 Americans died in possibly a very preventable accident, plane accident. And rather than him bringing the country together, and rather than him saying this is a terrible tragedy, and we are going to investigate and make sure this never happens again, the first thing he did was try to pass the buck and blame diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, that's not a strong man. That's a weak leader. Does that answer your question?
Could you give me an example of a strong leader?
Yeah, I'll give you an example of a strong leader. So, when Joe Biden was handed this plan that was negotiated by his predecessor, right? This negotiation for the pullout of Afghanistan, rather than doing what his predecessor did, which is continue to push the can down the road because he didn't want to take any of the blowback, he finally got us out of a 20-year war. He made the hard decision that he needed to, and accepted the blowback from that. That's an example of a strong president. When Obama got into office, right, and he had to deal with the not only the economy crashing before his eyes, but a massive rise in school shootings. Obama tried to get legislation passed to save our children, and when Republicans refused to show any empathy and put their guns ahead of the lives of children, Obama was strong enough to show his emotion. And I don't know if you saw it, but he literally cried at a town hall thinking about those kids. That's a strong person. That's a man who's willing to show his emotions. It's a real man, not like what we have now. Someone who not only doesn't care about anyone but himself, right? Couldn't even show empathy for the 67 Americans that are their bodies are still cold. He said, "Oh, you want me to visit the site? You want me to go swimming?" Yeah. So those are some examples of strong presidents, rather than the weak-willed narcissists that we have right now.
Now I understand why you're wearing a kitty cat shirt. Have a good one.
I think that guy is going to live so many years listening to Fresh and Fit, being unhappy, being unfulfilled, and one day he'll come to grips with the fact that there's more to life than trying to be a macho man. Also weird that he paid more attention to what I'm wearing rather than the words that came out of my mouth. Seemed to be focused on my outfit. Little strange. Little strange. Go to the next guest. He was the fashion police. Hi, welcome up.
Hey Dan,
How's it going?
good. I got a question for you, and I would my question kind of follow up with strong presidents. Do you think we're strong leaders? And I agree with you. I think Obama showing some humanity, right? Like you said, showing like, hey, I can show emotion
Yeah.
and not, that is a show of strength, not a show of weakness. I agree with you there. Do you think even with I mean again with Trump's personality being the way it is that he almost reacts or overreacts with strength. I guess my question is, can a strong president look different? For instance, Trump is a dick, but that is also, if you look at the things he has achieved, with economically with trade partners and things through that. They call it the strength through force. Do
Yeah.
you believe in that, or do you think that's just total BS, or do you think there's a middle ground?
I think I don't disagree with what you said. I do think strong can have a different outward view, right? So, for example, Teddy Roosevelt is a much different man than Barack Obama. However, they I think were both very strong men. If we look at Donald Trump's actions, if these actions were done for the good of the American people, then I would totally be for it. Even if he might be a bit of a dick doing it, but that doesn't seem to be what he's doing.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, and let me ask you this and kind of a follow up. And I would tell you this. I voted for both parties over the years. I'm in my 40s, and so I've been, searching for many decades for leadership of kind of what you're saying, from congressmen and state reps all the way up to the executive office. I would tell you, or I guess my question would be with Joe Biden, especially those last couple of years. And hey, I voted for Trump this time around, 100%. Didn't in 2016, didn't in 2024. But I guess my question.
You mean didn't in 2020?
Sorry, didn't. Yeah, there it is. Sorry, there it is. But Joe Biden, you look at Joe Biden and these last couple of years. I mean, I just cognitively, in terms of strong leader, he just wasn't there. So something was different. And I would pivot and say this: if you look at 2014 version of Joe Biden, just what we see publicly versus 2024, I do think something cognitively was definitely different.
100%,
maybe not his
100%
desire.
agree. 100% agree. That's why I voted for Kamala Harris and not Joe Biden.
Right, there you go.
Why didn't you?
I just, for me, it was I have a strong. I didn't like the process or lack of process, frankly. That for me, I didn't feel like, again, I voted in every primary I've ever been able to in my life. I didn't get a chance to vote in a primary for a Democratic candidate. And so for me, it was this, deception or something under the surface there. And there's a bazillion conspiracy theories. I'm not saying that. But the lack of process on that side, I didn't like.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And again,
that's a damn lie.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you, Caffeine. Let me ask you a question. If a president is an incumbent, would you not vote for the incumbent because of the lack of the primary process?
I think that's a great question. That's a good one, Dan. I think if Joe Biden had rerun, I wouldn't have. But again, that goes back to.
But that's because of Joe Biden,
mental
right?
capacity,
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
Well,
we're saying, if Barack Obama, or let's say a good Republican president, let's go back to Eisenhower. Let's say Eisenhower's running for a second term. You're not going to not vote for Eisenhower because there wasn't a primary, right?
Yeah,
you're going to vote.
I think that's fair. I think I think to kind of follow up with the lack of primary, I wanted to see Kamala differentiate herself from these other Democratic candidates, right? Like I wanted to hear I didn't feel like I ever got the substantive. Well, let's argue about how we all kind of have the same vision, but my path is 1 degree different than your path and the next person. Like I would have loved to see her and Gavin Newsom have kind of a knockdown, drag out. Like we believe in the same things, but we want to get there this way.
Listen, I love political debates as much as the next guy, and moreover, I like Gavin Newsom's political debates. However, Gavin Newsom didn't run for president, so I don't know why you're blaming Kamala Harris for Joe Biden's actions, for not dropping out earlier. Not even, or he shouldn't have even ran the second time, in my opinion. It's kind of like you're punishing her for Joe Biden's actions, and also punishing her for the process that led to no one running against her. There's a reason Gavin Newsom didn't run against her. There's a reason Mark Kelly didn't run against her. And it's not because of the Democratic Party is corrupt. It's because it was too late for any Democrat to be able to fundraise and actually defeat Donald Trump, except Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris was able to use the person who's on her ticket, which is Joe Biden's war chest. So there's no universe where Kamala Harris at that time can debate against any of these people. It doesn't happen because they're not running against her. Right. So, and ultimately, by the way, the thing you're asking for shouldn't affect your decision about whether to vote for her over Trump, maybe it'll affect your decision over whether to vote at all. Like if you're not comfortable, right? You're like, well, I really wish I saw her more with other Democrats and see how she differentiates. But no, the difference between her and Trump was made clear not only over the course of the past 4 years, but certainly over the course of that truncated election process. We saw a very, very substantive debate, which I thought should have illustrated to all Americans that Donald Trump was unfit for office. We saw many interviews, and I mean, you just have to look at Donald Trump's actions as well, because he is the person that you ended up voting for. So I just don't buy. For me, I don't buy that that's the reason. Particularly since if you look at the other side's primary process, Donald Trump didn't even show up to his primaries. So if you want to see how he differed from Ron DeSantis, from Nikki Haley, he didn't give you that opportunity. So to me, it seems like there's another reason you vote for Donald Trump over Kamala Harris, rather than the lack of primary process.
Well, sure. I mean that certainly wouldn't be the only thing. I would say it. I think it came down to more of known quantity versus okay. If we're going off of 2020 to 2024, I didn't feel like there was unification, like we were kind of sold on this vision of unification. And not to say that Donald Trump is the great unifier. And I was under no, no, I didn't bamboozle myself into thinking that, but it was, the direction of the country seemed so muddled after 4 more years where I thought it would get clearer and I didn't think it would. And even with Donald Trump, I would tell you, again, there's things I like and things I don't like with him personally and with the way he wants to lead the country or direction he wants to put us in. But I feel like I had a lot more of an idea of I knew what I was getting, good, bad, or ugly, versus, I'm going off of what 4 years of, adjacent leadership, right? So not leadership, but adjacent to Joe Biden as leader. And then looking at how she fared in her primaries in 2020 was not particularly,
Okay.
helpful.
So
or hopeful, excuse me, not helpful, but hopeful. There we go.
You wanted unity, just so we're clear, and you wanted to go. You wanted the known quantity rather than the new quantity. So you voted for the guy that caused this. This is the unity guy.
I mean, this is what I would tell you.
Uh-huh.
I think that individuals need to be held to their own responsibilities. Right?
I agree.
Because I think it's the same thing that presidents get blamed for school shootings. And
you know what?
That's not fair.
I don't disagree. And I think Donald Trump should be held responsible for not only the crimes he was convicted of, which is he was a 34 count felon and you voted for him, but also the crimes on that day. I don't know if you know this, but the reason that these people were rioting was to pressure Mike Pence to pick fake electors, making Donald Trump the president and essentially ending democracy as we know it. This was Donald Trump's actions. Donald Trump and his lawyers gathered 7 false slates of electors. This is information you knew, and you still would rather go with that than Kamala Harris.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You're not. I mean, hey, I mean, again, I think when I really took the time to look at the 34 charges, it was such a acrobatic act to do that. Separating January 6th, just to clarify, those charges, really turning a misdemeanor into that was an attack of.
So
I just didn't like that process.
That talking point,
very, very manipulated.
Just so we're clear, that talking point is actual propaganda from the right. It didn't turn a misdemeanor into a felony. He committed. What he did was he falsified business documents in commission of another crime. That crime was trying to influence an election through falsifying those documents. So what that is falsifying business documents to influence an election, which is a felony in the state of New York.
I respectfully disagree about the not what you're saying. You are correct. If it's like anything else, if you induce a crime, it in itself is a crime. I disagree about how they connected A to B to C, but that is a whole different conversation.
In all fairness, I'm gonna be super good faith here. If the only thing that Donald Trump had done was these 34 felonies. Okay,
Right.
but he had good policy and good character and was a good president in his first term, I would have considered voting for him. However, the problem is that is not even close to the only thing
Okay.
he did wrong. He was found civilly liable for sexually assaulting a woman. Whether or not you agree that he incited a riot on January 6th, he still tried to steal the election behind the scenes on January 6th, like we talked about with the fake elector plot. He's led to an increase in hate crimes in this country, like a demonstrable increase, an increase in Asian hate crimes when he started to call the COVID-19 pandemic. He called it the China virus, Kung flu.
Mm-hmm.
It led to like a 56% increase in Asian hate crimes. He led to during the election. He led to bomb threats being called in Springfield, Ohio. Haitian children, citizen and otherwise, couldn't go to school because he made shit up on the debate stage, talking about they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. This is not even to go into what him bragging about the fact that he overturned Roe v. Wade, and that's leading to women actually dying because of lack of health care. But all of this paints a very, very clear picture versus the unknown, which is Kamala Harris. And I just don't know how you don't roll the dice on an intelligent, eloquent, experienced woman in this regard. It just seems strange.
Well, I think I would say, so if you look over the last 3 years, that number of hate crimes has continued to increase. So I guess my question would be, again, I feel like that's a slippery slope of, are we equating the leader of the country, which don't get me wrong, they get the credit, so they should get the blame, but I guess my question would be, where is the line that we give them credit and blame for the actions of individuals? And so taking away January 6th, but kind of the direction of the country, if you will, by individuals, right? At what point does a president get again, credit for positive things, right? Everybody wants the credit for it. Well, the economy's great. Well, it's because I'm a great president. Well, the economy's crap. Whoa, that's not my fault.
I understand your question. I
don't control. So yeah, where does that go? Because if that's the case, I think I would look at, again, which again was a big part for me, was I didn't know what would be different with Kamala than Joe Biden's leadership. Now, again, cognitive issues aside, but just kind of like, are we heading in the same direction? Because I just would have, and again, that's where I didn't feel excited about either candidate, right? I didn't feel real joy filled about going and being like, man, we got two great candidates. This is, it didn't feel like I didn't have a hope going into it one way or another. So I guess, at what point do we, or I guess my question would be to you, Dan. So under those 4 years, you voted for Kamala. Did you think it was going to be different or more of the same? Or was it really for you just, hey, I think she has a whole totally different vision, and this is the leadership where we're going? Like, what inspired you, I guess, is the question. I did not feel inspired,
sure.
I would say,
so,
at a basic level.
So I think that in my mind, in terms of Kamala versus Joe Biden, I think she would have been a better, but not like vastly better president than Biden.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't think Biden was a particularly bad president. The main driver for me, even though I do think Kamala Harris was a good candidate, the main driver for me was that Donald Trump was someone who tried to overthrow the government. Donald Trump was someone who's found civilly liable for sexually assaulting a woman. Like these alone, those two things alone, should be deal breakers for Americans, in my opinion. And then everything on top of that is just extra. That's just the rotten cherry on top. So I'm not gonna lie to you and say no. I was voting for Kamala because of Kamala. No, I was probably voting for any opponent of Donald Trump. Now, if Nikki Haley was the Republican candidate, then we'd have the substantive debate over who was the better candidate. Or I mean, there's a few other Republicans I would consider, sure. Not going to say this, but in terms of Donald Trump, I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, that guy is so bad that that it drove me to the polls more than anything, for sure.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
And I want to say I don't know how a lack of inspiration from Kamala would be enough to vote for Trump in my regard, in my opinion. Like even I had said this at the start. Like everything you're saying sounds like a reason to not vote, right? It's like I didn't really like either candidate. I wish Kamala had debated, but you did vote. You
Yep.
went out of your way and voted for Trump,
Yep.
and based on we just keep going through all the reasons, and they all kind of seem to fall flat the moment we dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like there's some other reason that you voted for Trump, and whatever that reason is, I just want you to know. Can I ask your first name?
Jared.
Jared. It is okay to admit when you're wrong. Just so we're clear,
Sure.
it is okay.
Yeah.
And it is actually
Yeah.
it's the strength of a strong person and growth.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I think that if there's still a reason that you're not letting us know, then that's something else. But if you're now coming to grips with the fact that, damn, maybe there wasn't a good reason to vote for Donald Trump, then I would respect you if you did say that you think you regret your vote, or you think that you did something wrong.
Yeah. I think, well, two things. I want to say something because I saw a bunch of people in the chat saying race and gender, and I would just say I'm in a blended family, so that does not weigh easily.
Well, I was
mean-
leaning more towards gender than race in this particular
Yeah.
conversation, but
Yeah, but hey, whatever. That's neither here nor there. You know, I think I would tell you. I think time will tell. I think 4 years from now, I will have to retrospectively look and see. Well, did you contribute to the problem? Did you contribute to kind of a status quo, or for me, it's. Sorry.
I
Go ahead.
disagree with that. I don't think that even if let's say somehow miraculously Donald Trump ends up being an okay to good president,
Yeah.
that won't justify the fact that you had no good reason for voting for him this time. Right? You had no good reason. You ignored the fact that he tried to overthrow the government. You ignored the fact that he was found civilly liable for sexually assaulting a woman. Your reason in regards to the lack of process doesn't matter because he didn't debate. Right? He didn't debate his Republican opponents either. You ignored all of these other factors. The rise in hate crimes, the women's rights, all these other factors, you ignored them and still chose to vote for him. So if you end up being retroactively proven like right, it doesn't make sense because that wasn't the reason. You didn't vote for him because you thought I don't even know how he could be a good president. Let's say he cures cancer, right? You didn't vote for him because he was going to cure cancer. You can't justify why you voted for him. So even if he ends up curing cancer, that doesn't mean you were right. Do you get what that means?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I get it. Yeah, and I think it is. Again, I would say my kind of point there with kind of debate and substance there is at some level, again, at a very basic level, and to your point, which you're saying, yes, you did know what you're voting for with Trump, which was, these negative things, right? Just to be simplified, these bad things, right? Versus Kamala, I have no idea. So for me, it was about association, like we talked about a little while ago. Of I didn't feel good about the last 4 years, and so for me, she was an extension of Joe. Like for me, it wasn't just as clean as Trump. I've seen it. There's some real weight there. There's some real garbage there associated with Trump second term, or even, I mean, again, if it was Joe Biden second term and he was cognitive and felt really good, maybe there is a different. I mean, but obviously we can go into a bazillion scenarios. But if I'm thinking Kamala's going to take us more so where those last 4 years have gone versus, the big bad orange man at some level, right? Like,
Okay, I think you might have just slipped up.
okay,
You said if Joe Biden was running for a second term and he was cognitive, right?
Correct.
Let's say he was as sharp as 2014 Joe Biden. Why would you have
Right.
voted for him and not Kamala?
Mostly because for him instead of Kamala, I think with that, I'm hoping that I would have seen more, 2014 version of Joe Biden, or shoot, even 2021 version of Joe Biden.
You're misinterpreting my question.
What's your
Let's say
question?
we see
Sorry.
the 2014 version of Joe Biden, right?
Yeah.
You said that would have made you consider voting for Biden over Trump.
Yes.
But how is that different than Kamala Harris versus Trump? What's the difference?
Because
here?
I saw him as vice president for 8 years. I saw him in a position of leadership. I saw him in the Senate for a long time, and kind of, I had some level and saw him go through a whole campaign process. With her, I didn't really see her for 4 years. I saw her in the primaries where she got smoked pretty bad in the Democratic primaries in 2020. Then she's in the White House. I didn't really see her until 23, really. I mean, at some level, basically 23 was when she started having, and then all of a sudden it's summer 24, and hey, here's the super qualified candidate. And I'm like, okay, who is she?
Well, I mean, you could have seen her as a senator if you wanted to pay attention to that.
No, I'm sorry. Yes,
you could have seen her as a senator. You did see her for 4 years as vice president rather than Joe Biden's 8 years. You did see her for 4 years as a vice president. In terms of hearing her speak, I mean, like I said, obviously the process was truncated, but she did so many interviews, and I think the debate between Trump and Harris alone really showed everything we needed to know, I think, about both candidates. But I also just want to point out the reason that you have now been backed up into is, well, you saw her as an extension of the past 4 years. That's a reason that a lot of people give me. Okay. And then I usually, what I do is I start to go over why the last 4 years were actually not that bad. Why, our economy is the envy of the world. Like, no president would have been able to prevent inflation entirely because we had a once in a century pandemic, but we've recovered the best out of any country. And normally I would go into all of that stuff, but that wasn't your first reason. That was your reason after every single other reason had failed. And especially after the thing you just said, which is that you would have probably voted for a 2014 version of Biden, but not a 2024 version of Kamala. To me, and I'm going to say this as respectfully as possible, it sounds like you might have some internalized misogyny. That's the vibe I'm getting here.
I don't particularly. Could you expand on what you're defining as internalized misogyny?
So basically, all things equal, if Kamala Harris was a man, I think you would have voted for her.
Got it. Okay. I mean, I mean, I would disagree with that, and if if you knew me personally, you would understand why. I think because there is that misogyny is just. I mean, again, I'm sure
there's a reason I said internalized. To be clear, there's a reason.
No. I heard what you said, and I believe that. And I am married to a fantastic woman that I dropped my career for, and I would do it a million times out of a million times. I am surrounded by strong women in leadership. I've worked for women for years, and I think they are great leaders. So, although I absolutely see how you got there and totally get it, I would tell you, I think my turmoil is deeper than that. That's what I would tell you. I don't think that's a different thing. I think it is. I've seen the damage that, well, that's a whole nother thing. But yes, I don't think that's, and I mean, and sure, yeah, I think there is something about voting a female president into office, and I'd love to see that. But I also, yeah, I mean, you could say, hey, if I'm going to vote for a woman to be the president of the United States, I want it to be the most qualified candidate possible and feel really great about it. Versus
if I'm going to vote for a man, he can actually be a reality TV star and a felon. And
well, again, what he is known quantity, and so I would say, hey, the Donald Trumps and I don't know, the George Bushes and
I mean, it's just
the Bill Clintons of the world. All are very much lumped into the same. I think you can find greedy, misogynistic, horrible people to be the president pretty easily. And again, I think I do now. I am a little bit able to separate the person and the office. I do feel that way. I do feel there is a because it is. I would tell you, like with Obama, there's some things he personally did that I didn't like, and knew some people that were in Secret Service that had some of these kind of just unsavory kind of how he treated some of that inner staff. But I don't care from the president versus the person, right? Like I am able to separate that out, good or bad. You look good outside, you look bad inside, you look bad inside, you look good outside, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. So, but I understand what you're saying, Dan. I don't think, and I think there is a lot of that for sure. I guess that would be the question is on the landscape of potential presidential women nominees, and I get there was truncated timetable there. Do you think there was a more qualified person, or do you think she was the most qualified in that position? If we're saying female presidential candidate in 2024, so take away the weird time. Let's say Joe Biden drops out in an appropriate time frame. Is there somebody you would have loved to see, or was she it for you? Are you kind of like, hey, she was great, qualified, ready to go. I would have voted for her regardless of the field.
Are you asking me if there was another woman I would prefer to vote for?
Yeah, like I mean, do you? I'm just curious if you like Gretchen Whitmer or someone like that. Like I love her. I think she's great. And again, she has led I'm a big governor fan. I'm a big governor to president jump kind of fan. I like because then you have the executive experience. But I'm just curious if you. Yeah, I'm just curious what your thoughts there are with the field. If the field was full of other qualified women of the Democratic Party or Republican Party for that matter. Well, you said Nikki Haley, right? Is there a scenario or a world where you vote for Nikki Haley for president?
There's probably a world where that exists.
a very far away world potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's a world that exists. So if Nikki Haley was running for president against like a Democratic version of Trump, then yeah, I'm probably voting for Nikki Haley.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the universe that we're currently living in is one where you like the governor to president jump, so you voted for the reality TV star.
Time out. I voted for the former president for his second one. And he had a track record. I mean, I'm saying,
did you like his track record as president? Do you think he did a good job?
I think he did a lot of things well. Yeah, I think he did a lot of things that I didn't love, but I think he did a lot of things well. Yeah.
Like what?
I love that he prioritized us on a international scale. For instance, his negotiation with NATO. I mean, again, I'm pro us reducing our defense spending. I think we spend too much, just period. But the fact that he held some European countries accountable to, hey, you guys are part of this North American treaty. Let's get your fair share in, which I really liked that. I like that he
really quick before we go to the next point.
Yeah,
where does the NATO money go?
In terms of,
like, you're saying he got the rest of Europe to pay their fair share, right?
Yeah.
Into what?
Well, their own defense spending. For instance, like Poland now is their own. Like Poland is now increased. I think Poland's the highest now of their GDP percentage. They're spending on. Basically, the point was he said, "Hey, we shouldn't have to be doing all the defense spending for NATO."
But but they were all meeting the rule of 2%, right?
No, they were not all meeting it.
No,
they weren't. Not in 2016. If you go back and look, they were not meeting that. Which that was really the thing that bothered me the most was, hey, you want to spend the bare minimum, change the treaty if you don't like it. But yeah, there were some that weren't meeting the minimum. I think it's 3%. Is it 2%?
It's 2%.
Is it? But yeah, there are several countries that weren't, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So I mean, again, that is one item. I like that he perpetually funded HBCUs. I have a couple friends who
funded them less than Obama, so that's like a weird argument.
Well, I like the perpetuity of it. That is the point I like. Is that now it will take executive order or action of Congress to unfund it versus before it was having to be reauthorized.
Okay, so you'd rather they be funded less as long as it...
No, I like that they are funded at a minimum in perpetuity is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like during like during 2000, like during Bush's second term, he just didn't. He either didn't fund it or waited to fund it. There was a gap in funding, for instance, because he didn't extend the executive order from before. So I liked it in perpetuity. Like, so now there isn't, like, now someone would have to go out of their way to stop the funding versus, well, I just didn't do it. I didn't pick up the funding branch. But again, we are into the granular detail of that. Again, I don't think presidents, obviously they influence economies. I don't think they dictate economies, but I did like the push for tax reform. I mean, again, real tax reform didn't happen, but the fact that it became forefront and more people got involved, like, for me, I live in Virginia. Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to be clear. So you still would prefer HBCUs receiving less funding if it meant that it didn't have to be reauthorized?
No,
that's what
I would.
He's,
No, I would prefer having. What I'm saying is, I would prefer not having any years where they weren't funded.
When was that?
Versus 2006, I think, when it wasn't reauthorized in time. It was during Bush. It was sometime during Bush. But he didn't reauthorize it.
Well, either way,
it's out of the executive branch.
To use this as a thing that Trump did well when he did it worse than his predecessor and worse than his successor doesn't really seem to make sense to me as an example of things he did well. Now I understand why, because it's hard to find things that Trump did well, so we have to grasp at straws. But I think it's really strange to bring up HBCUs when both Obama and Biden funded them more.
Well, what do we mean by more? More in their 4 years or more in the lifespan of the action? Because I could make the same argument that, okay, if it's a little bit less but goes on for 25 years, right, when it may or may not have been reauthorized, is that not more than a one-time?
It will never not be reauthorized unless Republicans want it ended.
Well, or a Democratic president could repeal the executive order.
Democratic president would continue to authorize funding to HBCUs.
Okay. I think I hope so. Well, right. But
also, Chad's saying it wasn't even codified, so I'm not even sure where you're getting that information. I had never even heard of this thing. I just took your word for it.
Yeah, it was in 2019, but it's fine.
In 2019.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure 2019 spending bill is when he had to put that in there.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but the funding did go down. But yes, I do see it in 2019.
But he made it permanent, correct?
Well, he signed a bill that made it permanent. That's right.
Right, like that's what I'm saying. I think it was the Future Act, if I'm remembering right. That again, here's my point. It was the fact that it had gone on as long as it had, and nobody had made the push to make it permanent. So, I mean, again, you asked about it, and that is a thing I like. Do I like dollars going down? No, of course not. But hey, I don't like the same thing at the same point. That's why I brought up NATO, for instance. I like that now there is that push, and even the commander in chief of NATO, or excuse me, the general commander, I forget what his actual title is, talked about that last year at their big conference, and was like, he was glad they pushed for it because it did carry weight. And again, for me, I hate the economic burden that our country is under and going to continue to get worse with the crippling amount of debt that we have. We're adding, I don't know, $4 trillion a year in debt. And so, again, I don't ever want to see cuts to things like HBCUs or Medicare or Medicaid.
You mean our national debt?
Yeah.
Did it bother you that Trump added double what Biden added?
Yeah, absolutely. And
you still voted for him.
Well, like you said, it was also during a pandemic. 80% of that debt came during
I'll pull that up real quick. I'll pull that up real quick. So the light red is pandemic spending. And even if we ignore that for both candidates, dark red is still net 10-year debt added that he didn't need to add.
What is that? I can't quite see
Let
what the.
me see if I can make it bigger.
Oh, because of the new borrowing.
Yeah, most of
Yeah.
that is pre-pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I hate federal spending. I mean, again, hey, I would have loved to see us actually balance the budget over the last 4 years.
So I
Or
mean, we keep
yeah.
circling it here. All the things you're talking about are things that either would have been neutral or better under Kamala Harris. That's why it's so.
Well, expect it to be better.
Uh
I
huh.
mean, let's be honest about it. But that's it's
Well, I mean,
just
we
the
can't.
same
Obviously,
thing.
we're not fortune tellers. We have to just go based on what the estimates would be and what their proposals are. Based on just their
Sure.
proposals, Kamala Harris
Yeah.
would have. Kamala Harris's proposals with nothing changed would have added, I think, $1 trillion to the national debt. Donald Trump's unchanged would add $5 trillion. Now, yes, neither of those are Bill Clinton numbers, but
Right. Right. I mean, again, so yeah, for me, you're talking about the degree of bad. So if we're going to the argument of degree of bad, I don't,
I would
neither one of
agree.
that is, yeah.
I would agree if they were both spending things on bad stuff. But most of Donald Trump's spending is just giving tax cuts to the rich people, whereas a lot of Kamala Harris's deficit spending would have been helping regular Americans. So I don't think it was a degree of bad.
Well, I guess the question is what defines regular American?
Uh,
Non-billionaire, non-millionaire? Like I really am curious where
people making under $400,000 a year.
Okay,
I
that's
apologize
fine.
if you make $500,000 and I didn't call you regular. I do apologize. For those of you that make $500,000 or more a year, I apologize for
Yes,
calling you irregular. But
you don't have to, yeah, you don't have to push me on that. I 100% agree. I think that is a more than generous bar to set to
I
say
think so too.
you're above the. I'd love to have that as a problem. Look at
Yes.
it that way. I'd love to be in the neighborhood of half of that to be in the problem. But
Yeah.
no, I think that is, yeah. And I mean, again, I think, well, we'll never know, or maybe we'll know if she runs again in 28. We'll see what happens. Maybe we can connect.
Well, I
that.
mean, if she runs again in 28 and wins the presidency, she's still going to be inheriting the mess that Republicans always leave us. After every Republican term, we're left with some kind of economic disaster, and Democrats have to clean it up. And by the time they finish cleaning it up, Republicans lose their memories, and they're like, "Oh, why was the economy so bad for those 4 years?" It's like a never-ending cycle. Bush crashes the economy, Obama fixes it, and then Trump wins the election. Trump crashes the economy, Biden fixes it, and then Trump wins the election. Like, it's just going to keep
There you
happening.
go. Yeah. Well, and here's a question I'd have for you, Dan. So pivoting off of presidency and going to the congressional branch, are you in favor of term limits in Congress and Senate?
Yeah, probably, yeah. I would say it kind of depends on what the term limits would be.
Right.
But yeah,
I
I would be for term limits. I would be for term limits, mostly because there is so usually I would say I used to think I was against term limits and age limits because I felt like the American public will do the right thing. If someone's been in office too long, they'll vote them out. If someone's too old, they'll vote them out.
Mm-hmm.
But there are these unearned benefits to incumbency, which snowball. So now I've actually I've changed my opinion. I would be for term limits depending on what they are.
Yeah, I saw a proposal. Oh man, I forget his name. Out of, I want to say it was Louisiana or Mississippi, that had for congressmen 6-term and senators as 2-term. So essentially 12 years in either house. I thought that
sounds reasonable. I think.
I was going to say that felt like a reasonable.
I do think before either of those, I would be for some kind of term limit or age limit or restructuring of the Supreme Court. I think these were lifetime appointments when life
the
was a lot shorter.
was. Yeah, I was going to say, when it was you're 35, it's like, whoa, buddy, you better. The clock's ticking.
Yeah,
we don't have
I've seen some very interesting proposals. Some in regards to just every president gets to nominate one or two, and then the 1 or 2 longest serving would cycle out. I've
Oh,
seen,
interesting.
yeah, I've seen
Okay.
proposals in terms of age limits and year limits and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think all of it would be much better than what we have now. But either
I'd
way,
never heard of the 1 or 2 per presidential term, but I think I like that.
yeah, I can't
I
remember
think
who's.
that'd be yeah, because then it's yeah. I mean, shoot. Well, yeah, because even if you did two, essentially the whole bench is rotating every
Every 4 years.
16 years,
Oh, the
four
entire bench.
terms, every
Yes, that
four
would be every.
terms. Yeah. Sorry, I'm saying like, which is great. I mean,
Mhm.
because I know, I agree. I mean, it's well, and it's the same thing we saw with Joe Biden. I mean, again, I don't know that he has some disease as much as that he just hit a little bit of old age and started having some cognitive decline. Who's to say the same thing isn't happening with a Supreme Court justice that's in their 80s, 70s, 60s, whatever it might be. It is. And I mean, again, that's all. I mean, even in the medical field, they would say that's still somewhat subjective. Decline versus disease. Obviously, disease is kind of like, okay, hey, here's something on an MRI we can show, versus decline, and you're talking about people making the most. I mean, some of the most important decisions that
You
we're
know,
ever going to see, or our kids are ever going to see.
I do find it interesting that that one of the initial reasons you brought up for why you didn't vote for Biden this time, even though obviously Kamala was running, is his cognitive decline. Did Trump's cognitive decline not bother you at all?
Um,
Him talking about sharks and batteries and Arnold Palmer's penis, and when he answers
I
questions, he
think,
just goes in circles. Like that didn't bother you at all?
yeah. I mean, I would say, I would say it is. I would put that in the same category as some of the Kamala, where she would have some interesting. It's like she starts a sentence and doesn't know how to finish it, like I've just been doing here for 15 seconds, type of thing. I think he is weirdly even less filtered. And yes, no, and to say that wasn't on my radar at all would definitely be a thing. I don't know if it's declined, but again, we will see. You're 100% right. There may be there's a total opportunity here 2 years from now, even that it's like, oh no, this guy's really, really diving into the deep end here from a cognitive decline. I mean, I would actually be very pro. I'd be very pro an age limit for presidents. Frankly, I mean, I don't like the
Well,
idea.
no, it doesn't sound like you would be because you chose to vote for the geriatric guy over the young, vibrant vice
I mean,
president.
hey, I would tell you this: if Vivek Ramaswamy made it to as the nomination, he would have got my vote for sure,
That's
and he would have
great,
been the
but
youngest.
that's all great. But regardless, so many. I want to say 14 of the 15 reasons you've given so far ended up not panning out at all. Of the reasons why you voted for Trump over Kamala, it just
Well,
really.
I think it's subjective though, right? Because it is we are really at a very base level talking about opinion.
Sure,
So
yeah, but I mean, if you
I
talk
would
about
say
Biden's
we
cognitive
can,
decline and his age,
yeah.
that doesn't really fly. If you talk about the lack of primary debates, that doesn't really fly. If you talk about
Time out. How does that one not fly though? Because it
because
was comparatively. So
yeah, because Donald
it's not
Trump
in a
didn't show up to his
vacuum,
primary debates.
right? But he at least won all of his primaries.
What does that have to do with anything? You said you wanted to see the differences between the candidates. Donald Trump refused to
Right.
show you that.
So, well, yeah, but I also had 4 years of Donald Trump. I've had 0 years of Kamala in as president.
The 4 years of Trump as president were not good by any metric. He tried to overthrow the government. He pressured his vice president. First of all, he almost got his vice president hanged, and he pressured his vice president to pick fake electors so that he the loser of the election, would remain in power. So you don't seem to care that much about process either.
Well,
This is why myself and chat came to the conclusion. I mean, this has been a long conversation, and like I said, the reason I said internalized is because you don't seem to be an outwardly negative person. You seem to be a very respectful guy. But I do think when it all boils down, it seems like there's one thing that prevented you from voting for Kamala over someone like 2014 Joe Biden, or in this case Donald Trump.
I wouldn't say it was. I wouldn't say it was one thing. It was. I mean, again, but I hear what you're saying there. But again, I would have. if you, I mean, hey, let's put Hillary in there at 2024. Sure, she could have got my vote.
Did you vote for her in
And we'll
2016?
go back. We'll go back and say, ow, yes, ow, ow. Sorry, my dog is biting my hand there.
You voted for her in
Um,
2016?
yeah. So that's where I was saying where it was. This is the political spectrum. I'm all over the place. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It is. And again, my down ticket has been, I would probably say over my lifespan, probably close to 50-50. I've lived in places where, I've lived in Illinois and Maryland and North Carolina and South Carolina and Oklahoma. So I've been a lot of places. And so I think that's, yeah. So that's an interesting, and it's like with, Obama, that was split. I didn't in '08, but I did in 2012. So again, it's all, again, it is, I think if we chain ourselves to this political ideology that there is only one path and it is blue or it is red or it is rich or it is poor or it is, whatever, I don't deport everybody or deport no, like if we chain ourselves to whatever this ideological extremes are, we are going to see this collapse, and it's not going to matter who the president is in 4, 8, or 12 years. I think that I think there is a need for more flexibility, and maybe my flexibility is misguided, like what you're saying, or wrong. Maybe I made bad choices based on my flexibility. I'm open to that. I'm open to criticism in the past. I mean, '08's a great example.
I think
I blew that opportunity.
you know what?
So
But the difference with '08 is I don't have any. I don't think people that voted for McCain, um, unless they did it for like incorrect reasons, I don't
well,
I don't
sure.
think that they were wrong to do so. McCain was a good man. I disagree with
Yeah,
him on policy, but he didn't try to overthrow the government. He
yeah.
wasn't he wasn't openly scapegoating minorities and marginalized communities in this country. He wasn't found civilly liable for sexually assaulting a woman. He served his country rather than dodging the draft. Like these are very, very different men.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna fault you for voting for McCain, but when you knew all of this stuff about Donald Trump and still decided to vote for him, I do think that if you're honest with yourself, I think you made the wrong decision, regardless of how the next 4 years go, whether they're bad, really bad, or okay. Based on all the information in front of you, you made the wrong choice. I think, and
Yeah.
it depends on what you end up thinking, I guess.
Yeah.
But
No, I think that's. I mean, again, I am a time will tell, and people won't like that answer, but I can't. Hey, I can't get in the time machine and change it.
well,
So
no, that's right. You can't get into time machine and change it, but you can admit to yourself that it was a mistake. So, for
yeah.
example,
See, yeah,
I'll give you an example. Do you play any Texas Hold'em at all?
sure, yeah.
Okay,
Whenever I can.
yeah. So if you know that your opponent has a pocket pair, right? Pocket aces, for example. You know it, and you have pocket kings, and you call the all in, right? You only have an
Yeah,
18% chance of winning that.
yeah,
If a king
yeah.
comes down, that doesn't mean you made the right choice. You still made the wrong choice.
That's fair. That's a great analogy.
Okay, I'm glad you like
I
it.
I got to give you credit.
All right.
Dan, well, I appreciate it. I'll get off here. Let you talk to somebody else. I really appreciate your candor, your respectfulness. Um, I think it was thoughtful and thought provoking. So I appreciate that. Hopefully it's the same for other people, and hopefully, if nothing else, people can see that people can have differing opinions and not um, tear each other down necessarily to prove a point or
I
opinion or whatever it might be.
I appreciate the
So
conversation. I don't know if you saw the first guest, but he made fun of my kitty cat shirt. So
I
I
did. I did. I was like, give me a freaking break. I'm going to be honest. I almost scrolled right past when I saw it because I was like, oh, if this is the bar that if this is the bar we're setting here, like, come on, man.
yeah,
I'm like, who cares? Also, for what it's worth, I mean, I think it's a pretty cool shirt. I mean,
thank you.
I don't know. It's got some pizzazz to it for sure. You know
I
what I
appreciate
mean?
that.
So, but no, Dan, I appreciate it.
All right.
And
Hope you have a good night.
have a great night. Thank you.
All right. I don't know how many people are here. I saw a few. Okay. Sorry, I got a little wrapped up in the conversation. Zachary, are you still here? Zachary, thank you for the $5. If we can all wish Zachary a happy birthday in chat, I would really appreciate it. And if Zachary's not here, I do apologize. But then again, if he's not here, he can't hear the apology. So we're cooked. We're cooked, chat. Okay, so that was one. Two. I don't know if anyone's here from the unofficial Dean raid because I saw some Rip Deans and some Dean raids. If you are, welcome in. I love you all. For anyone that's here for the first time, we're live Wednesdays to Saturdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, doing live political debates, political discussions, and fact checks. So if you like this content, drop a follow, tap the screen. Thank you all so much. And we're going to be going to our next guest now. Happy birthday, Paxton. Hi, welcome up.
Hey,
How are you?
good. You?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, Kamala Harris. I think her biggest issue was she wasn't very popular, and that's why she lost. I mean, she's the while she was vice president, she had the worst approval ratings for any vice president.
Did you
Right?
did you vote for her or Trump?
No, Trump.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really care about why she lost. I'm more interested in why you voted for Trump.
Well, because I mean, you see what's been going on for like the last 3 weeks. He's been just his interviews alone. He's been doing like a lot more than the prior administration, and even with Doge, I agree with all that. I mean, I think that
Okay. We can get into all that in a second, but this is all stuff that's currently happening. I'm asking why you voted for him, which was back in November.
well, because he was just I knew that he would do what he says, and he's doing exactly what he says he's doing.
Wait,
Re-
when did he tell us that he was going to threaten Canada? When did he tell us that he
Sorry?
was going to take over Gaza? I don't remember him
Yeah,
saying
that's new though. But he wanted to solve the issues
Okay.
in what was happening
Well,
in Gaza.
He said day
He
one
wanted
we're
to-
going to see lower grocery prices. He hasn't even worked towards that, let alone.
Yeah, you liberals love that, man. You love that, like attacking. Oh, it's going to take anywhere between 6 to 8 months to a year
I'm going to be honest with you. I've
for
said it.
grocery prices
Paul,
or gas prices
I
or
have said
energy
this.
prices to go down.
I have said this over the past
Right?
entire week.
You can't be that.
I have said this over the past entire week. If he said we're going to lower grocery prices day one, right? But then he gets into office, and obviously there's no lower grocery price button. But he proposes a plan that would end up lowering grocery prices in 6 months. Then
Well, he
I would
is.
give him the benefit of that. I'll be like, okay, well he
He
exaggerated
signed
for the
executive
rubes,
orders.
to vote for him. But his plans are inflationary. That's the problem.
He
His
signed
plans would raise
executive
grocery prices.
orders to open up the energy sector.
Yeah, open up
Right,
the energy
day
sector.
one.
This doesn't make any sense. We're already producing the most energy that we ever have in history. Energy prices are dictated mostly by OPEC, not the United States. What he's saying
but that's
isn't
because
going to
OPEC
lower grocery prices.
But that's because OPEC has a hold on the oil because they have the biggest oil reserves. However, now that he opened up the drill in Alaska, which was a study that they wanted to open up for the last 30 years because there's oil down there that could be more than what Saudi Arabia has. So if those all turn out if he were to bring up energy and be energy dominant like how he was when he left in 2020, then you would be starting to export energy at that point, and then you would see the cost of things going down.
Can you tell me what you mean by energy dominant in 2020? What does that mean?
That means that producing enough oil that it can give the American people enough power to run their daily lives, and to now go to the point of selling it.
Okay.
Like how Canada does.
I don't think
Canada
you know.
sells their biggest export of energy through Niagara Falls, right?
Okay.
And they get the hydro energy from there.
So
right?
in
Supplies energy.
2020, the gas companies were losing money because of how cheap gas was.
Yeah.
Donald Trump made a deal with Saudi Arabia and OPEC to reduce production to artificially increase the price of gas. It was a 2-year deal.
Why was gas on average under his administration in the $2 a gallon? $2.14 was the lowest, anywhere but $2.50 a gallon, right?
You're saying why was it low in 2020, or why was it lower on average?
Why? No, through his whole presidency.
Because a full year of his administration, people weren't driving.
What? From 2016 to 2020, okay, from when Obama had it, okay, his national average of gas was around $3.89 or whatever it was. And then by the end of Donald Trump's presidency, gas was down to like $2 a gallon in some states.
Do you know what average means?
Yes, I know what average means.
Okay, so
Obama's
if
average
25% of Donald Trump's presidency was during a year where nobody was driving and gas prices were under $2, don't you think that would bring the average down?
You're talking about COVID, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Well, COVID, number one, is a whole different topic between why things happen the way that they happen. Even if you were to take from 2016 to 2019, before the pre-COVID.
2016 is Obama, so you mean 2017 then?
2017 to 2019 before COVID, the national average for gas was still lower than what it was under Obama.
Was that because of Trump, or was that because of OPEC?
Huh? That was because of Donald Trump's leadership and the fact that he was drilling.
Oh, and Obama wasn't drilling. Obama wasn't drilling.
No,
Trump is drilling?
Sure, they're drilling, but what they do is they surplus their energy through green. So they'll open up. Like, did you hear about the California solar array thing over there that Obama opened up in 2010 in California? It's a big solar farm. And now it's closing down because it doesn't work, because it's too expensive, right? So, of course, during every administration, they have to produce oil.
Okay.
Because
so are you saying drilling more leads to lower gas prices?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
we drilled more under Joe Biden, right? Why were gas prices not below $2?
Under Joe Biden?
Mm-hmm. We drilled more than we did under Donald Trump. I could show you.
He was also using the National Reserve too to prop those numbers up.
He was not. No. Hold on.
The National Reserve.
I'm referring to the actual production of oil. I'm not talking about the reserves and what we used.
Yeah, but he used that oil as a way to make sure that prices wouldn't go up to $6 or $7 a gallon, which they did.
Why would they? Wait, why would they go up to $6 or $7 a gallon? Why would they?
What? Why? Because tell
me why.
Their ideology is not gas oriented. They're not going to.
Why were gas prices going up in the first 2 years of Joe Biden's presidency?
And you're going to blame it on inflation and COVID again.
Nope.
Right? Is that the answer?
Nope.
Okay.
You're not going to like it.
Why were gas prices going up in the first
2 years of Joe Biden's presidency?
Why did it go up? Because he stopped the pipeline.
Nope.
His policies are not aimed towards being.
So what you're saying is vibes. You're just saying vibes now. You could just say I don't know, and I'll show you. You could just say I don't know. You don't have to just be like, oh well, his policies vibes, whatever. You don't have to do that. Okay. So
Yeah.
in the year
each
2020,
administration sets-
I'm going to walk you through
Okay.
it. This is going to open your eyes. Okay, you're going to be like, oh shit, I was wrong about everything. In the year
No,
2020,
no.
okay, we had the pandemic, right? You
Yeah.
know about the pandemic. It was this thing.
Yeah.
Guy ate a bat. The whole thing. So
Came from China.
sure. In
No, it did. That's facts.
and-
It came from China, Wuhan.
yes, okay. So
Okay, well,
nobody
we have
was
to be factual.
traveling. Nobody was traveling because of the pandemic. There were lockdowns, right? People
Yeah.
were sick.
because of there were
Yeah.
lots of lockdowns. Yeah.
So gas, because of supply and demand, the demand dropped a lot. Nobody was driving, nobody was flying. Demand dropped a lot.
Yeah.
So prices dropped. Prices got below $2. Do you remember this? In the last year of Trump's presidency, prices were very, very low.
Yeah.
You remember that? Okay.
Yeah.
So prices dropped a lot. Fossil fuel companies went to Donald Trump. They said, hey, we know that you care about us more than the American citizens. So can you do us a favor and talk to your friends in Saudi Arabia and make it so that prices aren't this low because we're losing money? And so what Donald Trump did, before he left office in 2020, he made a deal. I'll pull it up for you. Okay? He made a
Sure, that
deal.
was a deal then. That was a deal then with the or listen, Donald Trump is going to look out for America, right? So at the end of the day, the gas prices still were cheaper on average than the prior administration before him,
I think you need to let me finish the sentence here.
right?
Okay.
So when
So
you're
he made a
talking
deal.
about
He
business
made a deal
to make
He made a
more
deal.
money, yeah, it's a
I know
business
you
deal.
have to interrupt because you know this is going to blow your argument out of the water. He made a
No,
deal.
it's a business deal.
A business deal that harmed American citizens and only helped the gas industry. Yes.
Where did it harm? Where were people paying more for gas? Show where. If gas prices were still low, and
Hey,
they
hey,
went to
Paul.
Saudi Arabia-
The deal lasted 2 years. Okay. Pandemic started to end. The lockdown started to end. People started to drive places. But however, now Joe Biden's president. People like you are like, Biden did this, even though we're under the same deal that Trump caused for 2 years. We didn't feel it as much during
If it
2020.
was his deal and it was $60 a barrel that you said, then why weren't gas prices cheaper as soon as he became president, Joe Biden? Within the first 6 months, gas prices shot up.
What do you think happened within the first 6 months of Joe Biden's presidency?
He stopped the Keystone Pipeline, number one. Okay, he stopped the Keystone
Pipeline currently operating. You mean the Keystone XL?
XL. Oh my
Keystone
gosh,
XL
yes, the
pipeline wouldn't have lowered prices for us. So first of all, by the way, stopping it wouldn't raise prices, obviously, because it wasn't even functional. But it wouldn't, if it was completed, it wouldn't have lowered prices for us because it was a Canadian pipeline and it transported.
However,
and it
it would've
transported.
lowered
My sentence has
emissions.
not
It
concluded. You
would've
have not heard the
lowered
punctuation yet.
emissions.
It was
Liberals
transporting.
love the environment.
It was transporting tar sands. Okay, it was a Canadian pipeline transporting tar sands, and it was nowhere near completion. Okay, so that wouldn't have lowered gas prices. What happened during the first few months of Joe Biden's presidency is the pandemic stopped being so restrictive. We started opening back up. The economy started opening back up. People started to travel again. People started to drive again. And that raised the price of gas. Now, had Donald Trump not made this deal with OPEC and Saudi Arabia, had he not made this deal, we would have experienced a small increase in gas prices, but not to the extent that we did. The reason we did is because Donald Trump restricted, or he made a deal where the production of gas was restricted so that he would benefit the fossil fuel industry rather than regular Americans like you and me.
And then Russia came in, and then that was the reason why gas prices soared up again.
That was another reason why they went up. Yes, the Russia-Ukraine
Yeah,
conflict.
because of poor leadership. Because you have a weak
Oh,
president,
yeah.
right? Who displayed
Putin
weak
invaded
leadership.
Ukraine because Biden was weak. Yes, I love this talking
Yes,
point.
because of Afghanistan.
All vibes talking point. I love these talking points. It's the things are bad because of Biden, because of vibes, and things are good because of Trump, because of vibes. You guys have no evidence of anything. You live your entire lives based off vibes and feelings.
People, you know how many people died when they left Afghanistan?
13.
Citizens falling off planes because they were hanging off of them because the poor leadership from Joe
Wait,
Biden.
are you talking about Americans or are you talking about
I'm talking about Afghanistan, the Afghan people that were there that were leaving because they were in fear of the Taliban.
Yeah. Who released those 5,000 Taliban fighters? Who negotiated directly with the Taliban?
Yeah,
I'll give you a hint.
And under
I'll give you a
18
hint.
months, there was
It rhymes with Ronald Dump.
And for 18 months, not one single soldier died when they made that deal. Once they
Because
made
Trump
those
kept
deals-
kicking the deal down the road. Trump didn't want the blowback from pulling out. He knew it would be messy, so he kept delaying the timeline. because he's a pussy. He's a baby back bitch, and he didn't want
At
any
the end
blowback.
of the day, Biden was the one to do it, and he
pulled us out of a 20-year conflict. God bless him.
Yeah,
You wanted to be in a forever war. You want our troops on the ground. Why do you hate our troops, Paul? Why do you hate our troops? Why do you hate our troops, Paul?
A war.
Why do you hate our troops, Paul?
People shouldn't die. People shouldn't go to war.
Okay, so you wanted us to remain in Afghanistan. Why do you hate our troops, Paul?
No, there was a way to get out of there. Number one, you don't bring out the military first. You get out all the people.
Who negotiated the deal?
Then you move out.
Who negotiated the deal?
Huh?
Who negotiated the deal?
Joe Biden was president.
Who negotiated the deal? You answered that very interestingly. Who negotiated the deal?
Yeah, and
who negotiated the deal?
Months, and for 18 months.
Can you tell me who negotiated the deal? Who negotiated with the Taliban? Can you tell me who negotiated with the Taliban? I just need to hear the name.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you, Caffeine, for the dinosaur. Why are we talking about war with Panama for the canal? Because Donald Trump's a warmonger, and these people don't actually care about people dying. They just really like Donald Trump. They like his vibes. I don't get what it is about Trump. Like, I guess he's funny sometimes, but are his vibes really that immaculate that you guys will just simp for him no matter what he does? Bend over backwards? Pretzel yourselves? Phil, thank you for the $5. Can you please explain to him gas is a global commodity? I tried to. All right. Oh shit. I don't even have Discord open. $5X as many soldiers died under Trump, by the way. They don't actually care about that, by the way. Just so we're clear. They do not care. I appreciate the stat for all of us, but they don't care. Go to the next guest. If you're here for the first time, thank you all so much for joining. We're live Wednesdays to Saturdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, doing live political debates, political discussions, and fact checks. Your PayPal link is broken. It shouldn't be. What was I going to say? Oh, if y'all can do me a favor, everyone that's been sending gifts or sending Venmos and everything, I love and appreciate you all. But the only thing I ask for is if you could just drop a follow. Anyone that's watching, just if you're folding laundry and you're listening, just put down the shirt for a second and just press that little follow button next to my name. We're trying to get to 90,000 tonight. If we get to 90,000 followers tonight, we're going to do a crab rave. So that would be super awesome. But again, nobody has to gift. Just follow is all I'm asking. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go to the next guest.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, welcome up.
Are you against the tariffs?
Beavis?
Tariffs.
Hello? Are you there?
The tariffs. The tariffs.
Oh, tariffs. What about the tariffs?
They're good.
Okay, I think you're trolling.
Oh, I'm not trolling, bro. They're good. Why are you against them? Why are you against?
Well, because they raised
Why
prices
are
for
you against? No, they don't. The China pays for the tariffs.
the.
The China pays for the tariffs.
Okay, we're gonna go to the next guy.
Yo,
Hey, welcome up.
appreciate it, man. So I'm a centrist. I'm pretty middle of the road. I voted for Harris in this last election because I just think she was just a better option than Trump. Trump was abysmal to me. But I have a question for you. You might be able to give me some insight. You seem to have some information. You seem to have some stats that might be able to help me out. Do you know? I keep entering into these chats, and I keep hearing people on the far right side say something about Kamala Harris. She, under her watch, Kamala Harris, 3,000 children went missing or something like that.
300,000. Yes. This
What
one
was that
is-
about?
Yeah, I can tell you exactly what that's about. So, a DHS, Department of Homeland Security report came out talking about how 292,000 These are unaccompanied minors that have been assigned with sponsors. 292,000 of them hadn't received their notices to appear. The chat saying there's some background noise. Okay. 292,000 hadn't received notices to appear. And so someone on Twitter saw that and they were like, there's 292,000 missing children. And then Elon Musk retweeted it, and then Donald Trump started saying it, and now everyone says it. So that's where that comes from. I could actually show you the exact article.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so this is a BBC article that goes over it, and it also links to the direct. Hold on 1 second. So this BBC article goes over it, but it also links to the direct DHS report right here. According to immigration experts and attorneys, the claims largely stem from an August report. And then you press this, and this is the official report. Anyone that wants to contest this is disagreeing with the Department of Homeland Security. And then, I think it was 291,000. I don't want to say 292. Yeah. So as of May 2024, ICE had not served NTAs, notices to appear, on more than 291,000 unaccompanied minors, or unaccompanied children, who therefore do not yet have an immigration court date. This led to there's 291,000 missing children, and that's where that came from. 300,000 missing children. So
Okay, that makes sense. Hey, thanks, brother.
yeah, no problem at all. The report was a span of many years. Yeah, that as well. Okay, hang on, chat. I gotta keep some TikTok streaks alive. 1 second. Okay, there we go. All right, we're gonna go to the next guest. Hi, welcome up. Hello? Bueller? All right, go to the next guest. All right, someone requested we bring back the spinny thingies. I'm gonna do that right now and see how people feel about them. All right, send some emojis. Let me see if it works. Hostage debates tonight? Oh shit, maybe we should. No, the sub emojis. Yeah, there we go. Do you guys like these? Should I make it bigger? Can y'all send some more sub emojis just so we can see them? Wait, how come that one didn't work? Oh, I turned it off. Whoops. I'm so sorry. I turned it off. Okay, now I send them. Is that good? Keep them there funny? Okay. Okay, we're gonna go to the next guest. Hi, welcome up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, what's good? So I don't like Trump, but I do have, something fun we can talk about if you wanted. I think that the Democrats wanted to lose because they didn't want to have a primary where they would have to deal with the whole letting Bernie talk on like a national stage and whatever, and then, choosing whatever corporate Democrat over Bernie instead, such as Hillary Clinton, such as, Biden.
Bernie was not going to run in 2024.
No, but I'm saying like in the two other elections, like he did well.
Well,
Like
you
in the
said they
popular
wanted to
vote.
lose. Are you saying they wanted to lose in those other two elections?
Oh damn, I'm dumb. My fault. I smoked before this. My bad. Word. I mean, yeah. Like honestly, in my opinion, yeah. I think if the Democrats actually like listen to the progressive wing of whatever the fuck, I think that populism is a lot of times what gets people on their side. Like Trump did a lot of populism in like 2016 or whatever the fuck, and like I get that like directly after that messaging, it was like a lot of hate and like for sure bad guy, but.
I mean, the problem with that is even if you want to say that 2016 was rigged against Bernie, which I have some thoughts about that. 2020, he just lost. Like even if you wanted to criticize Elizabeth Warren for not dropping out at the same time Pete and Senator Klobuchar dropped out, then if you just add all her votes to Bernie's, which obviously it's not going to split that way, but if you add all of them to Bernie, he still loses to Biden. It sucks. Listen, I voted for Bernie both times. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Did he really? I didn't. I thought it was that everybody else endorsed it. Like I thought it was like if whoever the fuck everybody else endorsed, they would have whatever.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't know how many Democrats are looking for.
I can accept that I'm wrong. That's cool. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. I mean, so I'm a big Bernie fan, and I'll go through it real quick. I do think there was two main things about 2016 I didn't like. One of them was the debate questions with Donna Brazile, giving debate questions to Hillary. Now, to be clear, I don't know if this was if Hillary asked for those questions. I also don't even know if it would have influenced the debate. Their debate questions are usually pretty basic, but that was troubling. And the second thing was the way the media portrayed superdelegates. I really, really didn't like the fact that the media would say that after, like New Hampshire, for example, Bernie won New Hampshire, right? And let's say, I don't know how many delegates it's supposed to be, but let's say Bernie would have gotten 3 delegates, DNC delegates from New Hampshire because he won,
Right.
and Hillary would have gotten 2. But then there's 2 superdelegates, and those 2 superdelegates, which are unpledged, by the way, had already voiced their support for Hillary. The media was saying, well, even though Bernie won, there's 4 delegates for Hillary from New Hampshire and 3 for Bernie. That is not how it's ever been portrayed before or since. They've actually changed the way they talk about it because it was very, very strange. They made it seem like it was an insurmountable lead, despite the fact that super delegates have never voted against what the primary voters wanted. So it made it seem like there's no reason to vote because he won New Hampshire and couldn't even get all the delegates, but that's just not how it was. So those are the 2 main things I didn't like about the 2016 primary cycle for Bernie Sanders. In terms of 2020, he just lost, and it sucks. It really does. I like them, but is what it is. More people vote for Biden, and that's it.
Yeah, and now we're here. So
now we're here. Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, real quick, I saw some people in the chat asking who I voted for. I thought I said that at the beginning. I voted for Biden. So, but yeah thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem at all.
But
I will say, as an adamant
Obama.
Mim, thank you for the sub. Okay, so as a reminder, now I understand if you guys don't want to because TikTok is still on borrowed time. Like we have like 2 months left, maybe. But you can still resub and recharge on PC. You just can't do it on the phone. But again, nobody has to. Only thing I ask for is taps and follows. And even if you don't want to tap, it's okay. What was I gonna say? As much of a Bernie supporter as I am, I think that Bernie would have had a better chance of beating Trump than Hillary in 2016. Maybe he would have actually, given that I think he would have probably won Michigan and Wisconsin. But put that to the side. I actually think he might have lost to Trump in 2020. I think Biden was the most well-equipped to defeat Trump. Just given the demographics of who voted for Biden. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you look at the exit polling and the people that showed up for Biden, they're people that notoriously don't show up for Bernie. So, yeah, I think Bernie was probably probably had a better chance of winning in 2020, in 2016, but a worse chance of winning in 2020. I'm not going to say that he would have won in 2016 or he would have lost in 2020. I don't know, but I'm anyway. All right, go to the next guest. But there are weird crossover Bernie voters. The crossover Bernie voters, I'm convinced, are just sexist. I think like the Bernie voters that voted for Bernie in the primary but voted for Trump in the general in 2016. I just, yeah, it's weird. It's weird, man. I don't claim them. Oh, chat's too late. Yes, we're going to the next guest. Just like Bernie, generally dismissive of female leaders. You think Bernie's dismissive of female leaders? I mean, he endorsed Hillary and Kamala.
Hello?
I'm not sure. Hi, welcome up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I mean, he endorsed Hillary and Kamala. I'm not sure.
You're echoing.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, I can. Okay.
I'm replying to David, guys. Yes, of the 3 times Trump ran, Biden is the only one he enthusiastically campaigned for. Enthusiastically. Well, I mean, it's difficult to enthusiastically campaign for Kamala because she didn't run for that long. And, excuse me. And the 2020 primary ended way sooner than the 2016 primary. I don't know. I'd have to look into that because I recall him campaigning for Hillary. I could be wrong though. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I think that the situation in 2020 was vastly different because of the pandemic and because of what happened. Bernie dropped out and endorsed Biden way earlier than he did in 2016, where he ran against Hillary until the DNC. Essentially, he didn't endorse her until the DNC. He delayed his endorsement of Clinton, is all I remember. But yeah, but because he was still in the primary, he was the only relevant support. It was like lukewarm support for Hillary. Maybe. I mean, you could be right. Dan, you created this us versus the DNC dynamic in 16. Are you saying that wasn't the... Wait. When did Bernie speak out against the DNC specifically? I'm really curious about that. Bernie was continuously campaigning for Hillary after the convention. That's what I thought too, Carla. Listen, I'm not going to dismiss you, David, but from what I recall, I think he did what he could to support Hillary. Hey, welcome up.
Hey, what's going on, Dan?
What's up?
Quick question. With this whole thing going on with USAID, I know it's on pause right now, but are they really trying to end all foreign aid? Like, and just say, hey, that money is just wasteful?
I don't know about all, but yeah, I mean, that's like what the MAGA smooth brains want. Yeah, they're totally
okay. But isn't Trump also very like anti-China and like, oh, China's trying to do this? And I know a lot of, if you really look at foreign aid is really not from the kindness of the United States heart, and we're just so loving. It's honestly just soft power.
Yes,
And
yes.
so-
We don't want to cede global hegemony to China. That's right.
Exactly.
100%.
And so
But that sentence right there would explode the brains of 77 million Americans. So,
but it's just funny because pulling all of this foreign aid out, like China is already in different places, and even the whole thing with Panama, like they're upset now because they're like, well, China's over there. What is China doing? Is China running the Panama Canal? They're like, no, they have a couple ports.
Yeah.
So they're so upset about China being there in Panama, but yet they want to pull foreign aid from other places, which China has the money, and they're more than happy to like come in and say, you know what, the United States did you wrong, we won't.
Yep. 100%. 100%. It's a toddler's way of looking at foreign affairs. It's,
Absolutely.
Isolationism. And yeah, I mean, we're on the same page on this. Really quick, I missed a couple. Eric, if you're still here, I'm sorry, I just saw this. Eric, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. These MAGAs would vote for him even if he raped their own mother on national television. Not sure how you deal with these scumbags. I'm not sure either, Eric, but thank you for the $5. Fernando, thank you for the $2. I completely agree with your Bernie and Biden take. What are your thoughts on Trump supporters who low-key agree with Bernie? Do you think it's an anti-establishment attitude? Yes. If you're a Trump supporter that low-key agrees with Bernie, it's one of two things. It's either you're just like a super misogynist, or the only thing you agree with Bernie about is the anti-establishment part of his rhetoric, not actually the helping people part of his rhetoric. Thank you for the $2, Fernando. And then Nick, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. I don't know how the fuck you deal with these idiot maggots. You're doing an amazing job. I want to share a decent source that tracks immigration policies done by Trump. Okay, I will let me get that on the screen real quick.
Last thing, I know all of pretty much everything that Trump does is going through the court system, and it's a federal court blocked the federal judge blocked this, federal judge blocked this. Are all of these things eventually going to end up in front of the Supreme Court?
Not all of them. Sometimes the Supreme Court might decline to hear a case if it's just too obvious. There's a lot of cases where it's just like, this isn't worth our time. We're upholding the lower court's decision.
Now, we thought that with the presidential immunity thing, are we just kind of like, well?
No, I don't know. I can. The presidential immunity isn't as open and shut as I would say like the 14th Amendment thing is. Like I genuinely think that other than Alito and Thomas, I don't see any of the justices wanting to even take up that case about getting rid of birthright citizenship. But you know what? Who knows? So we'll see. Like you said, I mean, things are a lot different than they used. Ludus, thank you so much for the sub. Sorry, wait, did it say thanks Obama when he subbed? Or did I not hear it? Did I turn the sounds off? Sorry. Anyway, it didn't. Yeah, why didn't it? That might be a glitch because it's there's been no sound. Well, no, I heard a sound for the dino. Okay. Anyway, Nick, thank you again for the $50. That's the website that he's talking about. It's immpolicytracking.org.
Cool. All right, I'll drop. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
And bring back Magadan.
Maybe one day. Okay, where are we here? We're going to go to the next guest momentarily. I heard a sound for the cowboy hat a while ago. Chat, we are 100 follows away from 90,000. And I just want to say, even if we don't reach it tonight, I never, in my heart of hearts, thought that this community would reach 90,000 people. Frankly, I didn't think I was going to go live after the election. And y'all peer pressured me into it. But I don't regret it for 1 minute. And I love all of you, and I hope that
genuinely no.
Thank you, Carla. And I hope that we're able to continue going live on TikTok. But if not, make sure you're following on Twitch and YouTube. This is also the first time in an hour and 38 minutes that I remembered that I was live on Twitch and YouTube. Hi guys. Thank you, Sweet Pea, for the confetti. We need you for our sanity. I'm trying. Frankly, I need you guys for my sanity. I don't know where I'd be post-election without this community. I'm being honest. Are you comfortable being lied to by the leftist communist Democrat machine Fran, I'm going to request you, and I'm going to answer that question. But I'm only answering that question if you accept my request. Please, Fran. Please. Fran's not accepting my request. All right, we're going to go to the next guest. We're going to go to guests that can back up the things they talk about rather than Fran, who thinks that the Democratic Party is leftist and communist for some reason.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, man. So you're not feeling too good about what's going on right now, huh? Politically?
Not a fan, no.
I'm feeling great about it. I feel like this is like the only time anyone's ever tried to do anything.
What do you like right now?
Did you see the video of all the Democrat people like in front of the Department of Education building?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
I think it's insane that the richest man on earth, not to mention an unelected American citizen. Oh, excuse me, an unelected South African is in the Department of Education, thumbing around our private data. Right? He has 21-year-olds seeing our social security numbers. Why would you be okay with this?
Okay, I want to before I go into my argument, I want to just defend your argument here. So you have to put a little bit of trust in anybody. We put our trust in our government officials. You have to put trust in a person. The media is telling you all this stuff and it's got you freaked out, I understand. But American citizens, we put all our trust in these government employees. They have access to our information.
Can you send me your social security number, please?
Well, do you work for the government?
Elon Musk doesn't work for the government.
No. But don't other people that work for the government have access to my socials? They have access to yours too.
Yes, Elon Musk does not work for the government.
Now he does.
No, he does not. The Department of Government Efficiency is not an official government agency.
Well, Trump ran on it, and he appointed him to do it. That's what Trump ran on. He said it before the election. That's what he's going to do. People still voted for him.
Why doesn't he have security clearance?
Why doesn't who have security clearance? Elon Musk? Well, are you for security clearance for what?
To access secured files and classified documents?
So how is he supposed to track where the money's going if he doesn't have access to that?
That's the point. He shouldn't be able to.
But he said he was. Trump said he was, and Trump won the election.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. You want a dictator and you love licking boots. But for those of us that want like a presidency and a democracy, we don't think that the president can just say, okay, well, this guy who has no security clearance and is also the richest man on earth and doesn't have our best interests at heart. I'm going to have him do whatever he wants. And then he can also just have 21-year-old random people that post racist shit online, by the way, just thumb around through all your socials. That's okay with you?
So I understand you really fall into that, but you understand the whole country voted for this. And by the way,
the whole country did not vote for this. Less than half the country voted for this, but okay.
Okay.
And by the way, just so we're clear, the problem with that is that none of his plans are laid out, are fleshed out. He was super vague. He's like, we're gonna do this Department of Government Efficiency and they're gonna cut spending. He never said that they're not gonna have security clearance. He never said that they're gonna have interns fucking rifling through our shit. He never said that they're not going to go through the actual biggest spending, which is the defense spending. He didn't say this stuff.
Okay, so if this was somebody on the left, you would be loving this right now.
I would be hating it. Nope, you're 100% wrong.
He wants to blockchain the way every single bit of our money. He wants to blockchain it to where it's transparent and open, and anybody.
All of USAID's funding is already public.
No, it's not.
Oh,
it goes through funnels, and nobody knows where it goes.
Oh, where did you get this information? Where did you get what you just said?
Well, you're not going to hear it from.
Where did you? No. I'm going to ask you one more time. Where did you get what you just said?
I'm getting it from Musk. Where are you getting your information from?
Okay, I'm getting mine from the department that releases this information. The Department of the Treasury. They release the USAID funding.
You're getting yours from the fraudulent thing that he's talking about. Why do you believe? Why don't you take?
Why do you
both
believe
with-
Elon Musk, bro? He's not gonna pick you.
Take both with a grain of salt.
They
is
do
what I'm
audits.
saying.
No, they do audits every year.
And you totally believe these audits. You totally believe. there's
Why
no
do you
fraud in
believe
the
Elon
government.
Musk over? Okay, all right.
So-
We have
so you
elected
don't believe
officials.
there's
Hold on
any
one
fraud
second.
in
One
the
second.
government?
Let me walk you through this. Dylan, we have elected officials with security clearance, multiples working in tandem, versus one guy who's not an elected official, not even an American, the richest man on earth, and this is the guy you're trusting over our fellow Americans trying to do their jobs.
What I want to ask you is, you don't think there's any fraud in the government?
That is not what I said. Okay.
So why are you? So how else would you fix fraud in the government?
I will tell you how. I will tell you how.
Okay, tell me how.
Not by putting Elon Musk in charge.
So who would you put in charge of it?
I wouldn't put one man in charge of fixing the fraud in the government. First of all, the biggest location where we can find fraud. But if anything, I personally think it's more just irresponsible or misappropriation of funds. The biggest location to check would be the Pentagon, would be defense spending. But for some reason, that's not where Elon Musk is looking. He's looking
He's
to
getting
cut.
there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he said he's gonna get there.
Oh, wait, he said he's gonna get there. Yeah, I'm sure.
And then you said you wouldn't put one person in charge of it. You would put a group of people. That's what you're saying.
Well, there's already groups of people. The thing is,
Yeah,
okay,
they're
so
not
hold on,
doing
just so we're
shit,
clear.
are they?
Wait. I'm sorry. Do you think you can root out all fraud from the government? Period.
Yes.
Okay, you're an idiot. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
that-
why couldn't you?
Yeah, okay, it's just like trying to stop all what's it called? All shoplifting from a store. It's not possible, right?
Yes,
you want to
can.
admit? Oh, it is possible to stop all
Follow
shoplifting.
every person that goes in that store and make sure they don't shoplift.
You're gonna check their anal
Well,
cavities?
how about this? You search them after they leave the store. You search every person that leaves.
You're gonna
You
check
can
their anal
stop it.
cavities?
You can stop it. Yeah, you can. When it comes down to the federal government and how they spend, yeah, you would check the anal cavities. Why wouldn't you, man?
Okay. Well,
you just proved yourself wrong. I mean, that
You
was
heard
so
it here first,
stupid,
chat.
What you just said. What you just said was so stupid. You're just speechless.
all right. Anything else you want to talk
That
about?
was bad. I mean, that was horrible. Of course, you would do an anal cavity search on the federal budget. Why? And you said there's no way to stop it. Of course, you can stop it. Track every dollar, see where it goes.
Well, in terms of
Are
U.S.
you an
aid,
idiot?
oh no, sorry. In terms of U.S. aid, it's already tracked. You don't believe that it's tracked. That's the problem.
So if everything's tracked, why are you saying there's fraud in the government if everything's tracked?
because I'm not naive enough to say that there's no fraud in the largest
But if
entity that
everything's
exists.
tracked, then there would be no fraud.
Okay, and funnily enough, if there is fraud, it's probably in the Pentagon who fail
No,
audits,
but if
unlike U.S. aid who
everything-
passes audits. Here's the
Listen
problem.
to me.
The problem is that you right don't believe the people that we elected that hired people that pass security clearances, American citizens doing their jobs in tandem, hundreds of people. You don't believe them, but you believe Elon Musk. You don't believe the audits being done. So what's the point of even checking? Even if Elon Musk, the problem is, why would you believe Elon Musk over these people? That's what I don't get. You don't
My
believe them
problem
because
is-
of this.
is
This is the
if
problem.
you
You're
say-
wearing one of these, right? No matter
No,
what they
you're
say,
wearing
they
one
could be
of
like, "This is
those.
what we spent. This is the $5, and we spent it here, and now it's $1." And you'd be like, "Nope, I don't believe it." So what's the point? Why even audit themselves?
So a while ago you said everything's tracked. Well, if everything's tracked, there would be no fraud. Explain to me how, if every dollar is tracked, there
Okay,
could be
I take
fraud.
back what I said. There's no fraud. You're right.
Okay, you're wrong. You're wrong. Well, okay, either way, you're wrong.
All right, where's the fraud? Show me.
I mean, exactly.
Show me the fraud.
According to your
Where's the fraud?
argument,
Show me the fraud.
No, according to
No,
your
show me the fraud.
argument,
Show me
there
one
would be
example
no
of fraud. One, quick. Hurry.
According to your argument, there would be no fraud.
Where's the
You're right.
fraud? You're right. There's no fraud.
That's
You're
why
right.
your
I
argument is so
I
stupid.
apologize. I was wrong. There's no fraud.
Okay, I know you were wrong. I had to come on here and prove you were
Wait,
wrong. Thank
wait,
you.
wait. So you agree with me? There's no fraud.
No, I don't agree with you. You're
Oh, okay.
stupid.
So where's the fraud? Can you show me?
Everybody knows there's
Can you show me the fraud?
in government. You're
Can you show me the
always
fraud? Can you show me the
there's
fraud?
in the government.
Where's the fraud? Yeah, everyone knows. All right, so it should be easy for you to show me one piece of fraud. Hurry up.
I mean, what you're on right now is
Show me
just
one.
stupid.
One piece of fraud. One singular one.
So, do you believe there's fraud in the government?
That's not an answer to my question. Can you please
You
show
answered
me
it a while ago.
one
Why can't
piece
you
of
answer it
fraud,
now?
one example of fraud in the U.S. government?
I don't have access to that information
So why do you think there's fraud?
because I just know common sense. There is.
He just knows common sense, the vibes, the feelings.
Did you know
Okay.
that? Your audience knows that. Your audience has common sense. They know there's fraud in the government.
Dylan,
You don't.
Here's the
You're just
problem.
an idiot.
Here's the problem. So, with common sense, would dictate that there is probably fraud in the government. how
Okay.
widespread it is. Excuse me. How widespread it is doesn't seem to match the amount that you're worried about it. Just like how this is, you probably think that the 2020 election was stolen because and then you're gonna ask, you don't think there's any fraud in the election? I'm like, no, there is fraud, but it's like 7 votes, not 70,000, right? But that for you is like, yeah, but it should be 0, so that means Donald Trump should be president. The problem is that you don't have the critical thinking needed to process this information. Because
No,
you
you
think
don't.
that there's massive fraud despite not being able to give me a single
You
example
have
of fraud.
contradicting arguments, dude. Don't you realize that? You don't have the critical thinking.
No, yeah, I'll walk you through it so easily.
No, I'll walk you
I'll-
through how your arguments are contradictory to each other.
Go ahead.
Okay, you said every single dollar is being tracked. Well, if that's true, then how in the hell could there be fraud? What you're saying makes no sense.
Oh, I will explain it to you.
Okay, explain to me how if every dollar is tracked, there could be fraud in the government. Tell me that.
So
Go.
U.S. aid is one section. All of U.S. aid spending is tracked. There are other departments, like the Department of Defense, that fail audits. So it is possible that there is fraud going on. I personally am not even sure if it's fraud rather than just a mismanagement of funds. But ultimately, the government is the largest entity. The United States government is the largest entity that has ever existed. So I would be naive to say that there is no fraud. However, I would be smooth-brained to say that there is so much fraud, we need Elon Musk to fix it. Does that make sense?
Well, that's what Trump said. So that's what we're doing. He won the election. But I'm not just talking about the Department of U.S. aid. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that's just, you're right. That is a small segment. And they were funding stuff I didn't agree with. I'm sure you didn't agree with either. Pushing left-wing stuff either way.
I would listen. I'm not going to have any conversation on the types of things that USAID funds until one singular Republican candidate talks about reallocating funds to helping Americans. Republicans only want to cut spending to give it to the top 1%. So until they start proposing other things to spend it on other than the top 1%, I don't give a fuck. Keep spending the money on condoms. I don't care.
Okay. I mean that would be a liberal argument. You're right.
Yeah. Liberals don't care. Liberals can look at something and determine scope. 1% of our budget, right, goes to making sure that the world slows the spread of AIDS, which I know you guys love this condom argument, by the way, and it's like it's not just condoms, but I'm going to use that one as
I
an
never
example.
brought it up.
Yeah. So slowing the
not a
spread of
y'all.
AIDS for $50 million versus $200 billion that the net worth of Elon Musk went up when Donald Trump won the presidency. The scope that Republicans have, right? They microscopic. They look at the 10 trans athletes in the NCAA, and that's a problem. That's one of Donald Trump's 20 hallmarks of American democracy is the 10
That's
trans
the
athletes.
voter.
But you don't think about the more than 10 women who have died just from restrictive abortion access. You don't think about the 65,000 women who have had to carry their rapist baby to term. You don't think about that stuff. You guys have no scope. So I'm not going to argue with a Republican about $50 million in healthcare funding across the world when you don't care about $200 billion going to Elon Musk. You understand?
So you talk about the Republican voter. What does the liberal voter vote on? They
The liberal
vote
voter
what
votes
you're
on
talking
healthcare. Liberal voter
No,
votes
they
on
do
human
not.
rights. Liberal
They
voter
vote on
votes on
lies.
strong
They vote on
economy.
Donald Trump's a racist. Republicans are stupid. That's what they vote on.
Hold on. Donald Trump being
you're
racist
right.
and Republicans being stupid aren't the reason we vote. Those
No,
are
no.
true, to be clear.
Republicans, I will agree. Donald Trump, I would say 99% of his votes, 95, I would say maybe 90% of his votes are stupid people. Yee. But that's the irony of the whole thing. Y'all's 90% is just as stupid. And there's people like me
Okay.
and you who are kind of smart and we
Can-
go over things.
Please do not include us in the same argument. Okay. Liberals vote on healthcare, on human rights, and on a strong economy. Republicans
average
vote on
voter does
fear.
not. No, they both vote on fear, buddy.
Okay.
The average liberal voter does not know a damn about politics. The average Republican voter does not do a damn about politics. We both know that.
So what did you vote on? Why did you vote for Donald Trump?
Because I love politics. I just understand it. I understand the irony of how y'all guys just think we're stupid. And we actually kind of just see the bigger picture and see how things are going. I've been watching it for a long time. And I just know y'all guys are liars. It's not really that I love Donald Trump, which I do. But I just hate y'all. That's mainly, I hate y'all's side. Y'all's side is like,
Can you
very
give
bad.
me 30 seconds?
Yeah.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
See, that's why I
At
don't
no
like.
point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay, thank you for the 30 seconds. Appreciate that.
Okay, I know it goes over your head. I know.
Yeah,
it
I asked
does.
you why you voted for Donald Trump, and you said because you like politics.
What do you want me to do? You want me to go into like
the reasons? Yes, the reasons you voted for it. Because you said liberals vote because Trump's a racist, but Republicans vote for smart reasons. And I asked you, okay, well, why'd you vote for Trump? And you said
most
you like
Republicans
politics.
don't vote for smart.
Okay,
reasons.
so why did you don't include yourself in that 90%? Why did you vote for Donald Trump?
Because I see through the lies y'all are saying. If it wasn't for y'all's lies,
Why
everybody
did you vote for Donald Trump?
Okay, because when Joe Biden got in, all the prices went up. I know you're going to have tons of reasons why that happened. It's not Joe Biden's fault. But the fact is, prices went through the roof. Inflation, he did stupid things.
Okay,
like
so you would say that the egg prices right now, the $10 a dozen, is because of Donald Trump?
Bird flu, man.
Oh, wait, what about the tons of reasons? When Joe Biden got in, all the prices went up. But don't give me reasons. Don't give me reasons. But Donald Trump comes in and eggs skyrocket, and now it's bird flu. I know that it's bird flu because I have wrinkles in my brain. I have ridges, right? But you think the global inflation was Joe Biden's fault.
Well, how long has Trump been president also? But by the way, it happened under his administration. What about the Afghanistan withdrawal? Y'all can't defend that. That's horrible.
Who negotiated it? Wait, who negotiated it?
Trump didn't do that.
Who negotiated with who negotiated with the Taliban?
The withdrawal wasn't the problem.
Who negotiated the withdrawal with the Taliban?
The withdrawal.
I need you to answer that question. Who negotiated the withdrawal with the Taliban?
Man.
Who negotiated the withdrawal with the Taliban?
Trump.
Okay. So why are you blaming Biden?
Because look how Biden did it.
He did it.
You say if
he
Trump
followed
did that,
he followed the plan laid out by Trump and the Taliban to a T. He followed the negotiation to a T.
This is why I'm just smarter than you. Is you don't see the irony in that. It's like if Trump did that Afghanistan withdrawal, you would have been like, "This is the worst thing ever." Y'all would be talking about it nonstop. That was so bad. That was like the worst thing.
What did he do wrong? Can you tell me what Biden did wrong?
Okay, let me just go ahead and say what he did wrong. There was people hanging off the side of the plane, falling off the plane because we just left them there.
How did Biden do that? Can you tell me how Biden did that?
Vision goggles over there.
Can you tell me how Biden did
all
that?
Kind of equipment.
How did
What do
Biden
you
do
mean?
that?
He's the president.
What was he? What did you want him to do?
What did you want him to do?
Yeah.
Who was in charge of that?
Who was in charge of the plane?
Who was in charge of that withdrawal leaving there?
Well, in charge would be the whatever generals were assigned that mission. Obviously, the buck stops with Biden. I'm not going to say that the commander in chief isn't in charge of the armed forces.
Okay,
But
that's exactly
I'm asking you, what specifically you wanted Biden to do differently?
Well, we obviously agree that was a failure, right?
What was the failure? What did he do wrong?
So you think that Afghanistan withdrawal?
Why are you
was a flawed?
answering my question with another question?
It's
What was the
obvious, dude.
failure?
It's obvious. We left a bunch of equipment over there that now they're rolling down the streets on a parade.
Wait,
holding
okay,
up
so
our-
just so we're clear, totally different. You were talking about people hanging off the side of the plane.
Yeah,
Now you're
that
talking about
was a
equipment.
major
The equipment,
thing. That was
the equipment
bad.
we left was decommissioned. Not only that, the ones that weren't decommissioned were a part of the agreement. All of this was already planned. Had nothing to do with Joe Biden specifically.
Okay, well, why didn't Biden take all that equipment?
Some of it was not worth bringing back. That's why it's decommissioned. And some of it was left to the Palestinian Authority.
Okay, so that don't make
We
any
leave
sense to
equipment.
me.
We leave equipment in every conflict. Just so we're clear.
Yeah, but you don't leave it to terrorists.
Who
That's
negotiated
just
with the
a-
terrorists?
that's a
Who did
minor
it?
point.
Who did it? You already answered the question.
Okay,
It's like
so
an
why
open book
didn't
test.
Biden stop it then, man?
Oh,
If
sorry.
you disagree
Afghanistan.
with
Excuse
it.
me. Afghanistan Authority, not Palestinian.
Why didn't if you disagree with that? Why didn't Biden stop it?
Why didn't Biden stop the pullout?
Yeah, if Biden no, what you're saying is you say you agree with the pullout because Biden agrees with it too, but the way he did it was horrible. I mean, everybody knows that. I don't know why y'all can't just take an L on
No,
that one.
because the problem is
I'd take an L
you
on
keep
stuff.
living off of vibes. Everyone knows that. Biden got
Oh,
it.
right.
Don't give me. You said don't give me reasons. Biden got in. Prices went up. The Afghanistan pullout was bad, but I don't have any reasons. Everyone knows it. It's common sense, right? Common sense is your excuse for not knowing anything. Okay,
Well,
you're
can
ignorant.
I just ask you a question?
Yes. What's the question?
Do you think the Afghanistan pullout do you think we did a good job
Um,
of doing that?
I think that there was no way that the pullout wasn't going to be messy. I wish we didn't lose 13 American servicemen and women, but I'm glad that we're out of the 20-year conflict.
I don't know how it couldn't have been messy. I mean, I feel like you could have pulled that off.
You feel that's a lot of okay, good. That's a good feeling statement. But why? So that's the case. Then why specifically? Did Trump keep delaying the deadline? Why did he keep pushing it back? It's because he didn't want the blowback.
Or maybe he was trying to make it safe. That's just your opinion.
Well, the best way to make it safe would be not to release 5,000 Taliban fighters, who then released the ISIS-K fighters that caused that terrorist attack that killed 13 service members. Anyway, you got voted out. I hope you have a day. Okay, I need the circle of life real quick. And what I mean by that is I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'm also gonna get water. Okay? So I need somebody to come up. I need a mod or somebody to come up just for 2 minutes.
Hey, Fran.
Hey.
All right, guys. We are, let's see, we are still at 89.9 thousand followers, which is absolutely amazing and pretty wild considering how far it's come. But if you are not following yet, now is a great time to check and do the little followy follow. Make sure that if you are watching on YouTube, you have done the little thumbs up there. If you are watching on Twitch, I'm not sure what you do there, but do the things on Twitch. That would be amazing. I would really like to have a crab rave tonight. I think that would be amazing for multiple reasons. One, we have 2 birthdays going on today. 2, everybody's had like a really hard 3 weeks, and I feel like we could all really use a crab rave right about now. And 3, I really want to get us to this 90,000 follower thing, like that'd be kind of cool, don't you think? So if you can do the tappity tapping tonight and the sharing and the commenting and, all the things, that would be amazing. All the extras are amazing and always appreciated. Don't get us wrong, but the free and easy and community building options are what we are looking for first. So I hope that everybody is also drinking some water tonight and having some delicious dinner. Yes, lots of crabs in the chat. That is amazing. Thank you. Yes, we want to do the tappity tapping. If you've been doing the tappity tapping, now is a great time to shake out your fingers. Oh, it's a wine kind of night. You can do the wine kind of night. I support that as long as you are being healthy and taking care of yourselves. That's all I ask. I want everybody to stay safe and healthy. Oh, we have another birthday. Happy birthday to all of the birthday people. And hi, Tanner. I see you. I saw you in the line. I'm sure Dan will need a Tanner break at some point in the evening. Ty, yes, you have my permission, as always. Ty got his hair done today, and it looks amazing, by the way. So everybody should tell Ty great haircut. Yes, happy birthday to all of the birthday people. We have birthday people in the Discord. We have birthday people in the live chats. I'm checking on the live chats and they're being funny as well. I love all the comments and the sass. It's personally my favorite thing is the sass from chat responding to people in the box. It's always really entertaining. Did you get water?
I did. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you bring water to the table? Do you have water now on you?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
I just wanna call out the 200 of you that didn't want me to stay hydrated.
No.
200 of you.
They didn't want to hear about birthdays either.
Unfortunate. Anyway, thank you so much.
I know. Can you please reset the light count?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Goodbye.
I was driving. I couldn't comment. No, Matt, I'm not talking about commenting. It's just that we had 900 viewers, and then I went to get water, and we now have 700 viewers, and I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway, really quick. Thank you, Krista, Ludus, and KP. Thank you so much for tapping the screen so aggressively and efficiently. I appreciate it. And we're going to reset that so everyone has a chance to win. What do you win, do you ask? Y'all remember Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where it's like everything's made up and the points don't matter? All right, go to the next guest. Hi, welcome.
Hello. Yeah, I was just asking about the deportations. Like, do you agree with it?
What state are you from?
I'm from Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think we dodged a bullet with that one, chat. I think we dodged a bullet with that one. Okay, really quick, super perfect, or super curious. For those who used to watch Whose Line Is It Anyway, who do you like more, Colin Mockery or Ryan Stiles? Laughing emoji for Colin Mockery, crying emoji for Ryan Stiles. Laughing emoji Colin Mockery, crying emoji for Ryan Stiles. Wow. I thought it would be closer. Okay, whoa, oh, hold on. Red, it was a blue mirage. It was a blue mirage. Laughing emoji for Colin Mockery, crying emoji for Ryan Stiles. Okay, this is the closest election I've seen in my lifetime. The red wave. The mail-in ballots. Oh. The fraud. Wow. Okay, well that's more what I expected. 55 to 51 is more what I expected. All right, go to the next guest. I didn't vote. It was an impossible question. I mean, I do. Tie goes to Wayne Brady. So I like Wayne Brady, but I've been watching Whose Line Is It Anyway since it was like hosted by that British guy. And the only people who have been on it for the entire time were Colin and Ryan. Do you guys remember that? Like before Drew Carey, it wasn't on ABC. It was on like Comedy Central, like way back when. Yeah, in the 90s. Greg Proops is good. Pepperidge Farm remembers. All right, go to the next guest. Here we go. The Robin Williams episode? Yeah. Man, there's some really good ones. You know what? Maybe after the debates we'll do some Whose Line Is Anyway clips.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Are you in a high
Oh shit, my
school?
bad. I'm just
Are you in a high
fixing
school boys locker room right now?
No, I'm in a shitty room with like, I just moved in, so I didn't put like the fucking like thing. So yeah, my bad for the audio stuff. I actually no. Yeah, is it? Hold on, give me one sec.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. The Richard Simmons episode was crazy.
Yeah. Oh, shit, okay. Is this better?
Yes, way better. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Actually, okay, so I have a question for you regarding obvious with Democrats, right? What should they be doing, like planning for the next 4 years? Like, what should be like their main attention?
Well, right now it's just playing defense and trying to block as much of the harmful shit as possible. But ultimately, we gotta have a big effort to canvass in the midterms. I do think we'll take back the House in the midterms, assuming we have midterms. By the way, I mean we'll see. But yeah, right now it's play defense and push back against a lot of the things happening. There's a very very scary situation with the funding freeze. So it was already a breach of the balance of powers for Trump to issue that funding freeze because it was funding approved by Congress, which is the legislative branch, not the executive branch. So him issuing the funding freeze was already a breach of the balance of powers. But now that the courts have blocked it, if he chooses to continue with this funding freeze, he'll now be defying both balance of powers, and we could end up with a constitutional crisis. So things are really rough right now. It's hard to think like to the midterms when everything right now is so dire. I do think that we should do our best to try to win the 3 seats. Now they are very red districts, but there's 3 special election seats, 2 in Florida and 1 in New York, that will swing the House within 60 days. But until such time, yeah, we just got to focus on defense right now.
Yeah, good. And adding on to this, obviously with the 2028 election, who do you feel that the Democrats should really push for? Because me personally, I think if they run it back with Kamala, I think it's just gonna go absolutely nowhere.
I think there's
So,
going to be a large field in the primary, and we'll be able to make that choice. The party will be able to make that choice. I personally don't think Kamala will win if she ran in like a big primary, but it's possible. I don't even know if she'd run again though. So
would you like who would you like to see, like Gavin Newsom or Josh Shapiro or?
I would personally want to see the primary to make that determination. If I didn't have to worry about the general election, fuck, I'd take like a Jasmine Crockett or an AOC. But in terms of a general election, I mean, yeah, if Gavin didn't have the baggage of decades of Republicans shitting on California, then he'd probably be solid. I also like Gretchen Whitmer. I like Westmore. I like Pete Buttigieg. There's a lot of good candidates, but I'd want to see the primary because that's when my opinion will be formed for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Okay, let me just move on and ask you your thoughts on the recent protests going on around California, Southern California, regarding the deportation, the blockage of freeways. Do you think that this is very effective in terms of spreading their message, or do you feel like it's actually backtracking of what they're trying to say?
I think protest is super important to illustrate disgust with what administrations are doing. Protests are how history looks back and how history looks back and determines if something was unpopular. And I think it's important to push back against stuff like this, even if it doesn't succeed in changing the government's actions. It'll make it clear that the entire country wasn't complacent in what's going on.
But do you think that like protesting in the freeway is justifiable compared to like doing it, like in a public area that doesn't, affect everyone's life?
That's a good question. I would say it depends on what you're protesting. If you're protesting something that is so something that is so bad that it's harming human lives, then mild inconveniences shouldn't be a reason to not pay attention to the protest. So like, if these protests are leading to widespread human suffering, or excuse me, if the things that are being protested is leading to widespread human suffering, then yeah, fucking block the highways. People need to understand what's going on.
Wait, but so you know what I'm talking about, right? What's going on in the like in Los Angeles, like the viral clips of it was regarding the deportation of ICE and people with Mexican flags and United States flags, like literally blocked the highway, and they were like that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah,
you think that was okay for them to do?
I mean, I can't speak to. I haven't researched this specifically. I don't know if there was any violence outside of blocking the highways, but yeah, I do think so.
Okay.
I think it's
I mean,
I think it's frustrating that we're in a system where it's so hard to like live our life without constantly needing to churn this capitalistic system, um, so that we don't have time to fight for human rights without having to worry about like our own family. So like it's really tough. I'm not unsympathetic to people that are just trying to go to work and provide for their families, right? I'm not unsympathetic to that. But then on the other hand, you have people's human rights being stripped away from them. So it's super difficult. And I almost, a lot of people think this is intentional, and maybe it is. Just the way the country has gone since really the 80s, since Reagan, where just to survive, we have to be working constantly. We don't have time. We don't have time to think about human rights. We don't have time to protest on weekdays, or at least not all of us. It's just really it's frustrating that we have to have that balance in our head, that we have to weigh the pros and cons of blocking highways. But ultimately, when it's something that's important, I do think it's justified.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I agree. That's a great. Okay, I'm so bad at this. This is like legit my first time doing this, so.
You're doing just fine.
Okay, what else before I go? Wait, I've seen actually a TikTok clip of actually from your channel, ironically. It was like someone saying that, oh, I'm glad that like transgender people aren't allowed to play in women's sports or something. And then you asked them like, can you name them like two female like
Yeah.
athletes, and they couldn't even do it, which is, I mean, crazy. But like adding to this argument, I mean, I think it's really complicated when it comes to this because, I mean, we've seen examples. How should I say this? I mean, do you really think that it's what when Trump signed is going to affect the future in terms of transgender people able to compete in sports? And like, how would you find a solution to do this?
Um. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a strong opinion on transgender athletes in sports in general. To me, it had not reached the point to even hit my radar. The 10 trans athletes out of the 510,000 NCAA athletes. It just, so like if it became a widespread thing where there's the 10% of the athletes are trans, then I would have an answer for you. But right now it's just like, why are we even talking about this? You know what I mean? That's kind of my stance on it. Now, I do have a few trans members of the community who have slightly differing opinions on what the solution would be for this quote unquote problem, but I just don't. It's not something I think about.
Yeah, like I mean, I think it's really complicated too because like I think it's wrong if you tell them that they're not allowed to compete and like okay, you ban them from women's sport, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna make like a trans league? And I mean, it's just it's very complicated. But I don't think it's like I agree with you. It's not like 15 or 20% of this is happening. It's a very small portion that
Yeah, it's
you
less than
know.
a tenth of 1%.
Yeah. So like, no, I was just curious on that. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay. We are gonna go to the next guest shortly. If you are here for the first time, thank you so much for joining. We are live Wednesdays to Saturdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, doing live political debates, political discussions, and fact checks. So if you like this content, drop a follow, tap the screen. We are on the cusp of 90,000 followers. And if we hit it today, we're going to do a crab rave. I appreciate every single one of you. By the way, everyone that's sent gifts and PayPals and Venmos, I love you all, but nobody has to send anything. The only thing I'm asking for is a follow. Michaela, thank you for the $1. I heard Canada is preparing for war with US because of Trump, and also Jerry Moran split from Republican Party over US aid today. Yeah. So I think I heard what you're talking about. Like, Justin Trudeau basically said, like, we're taking this seriously. Dan Peen. Yeah, Parker and Dean. Do they not go by Peen? Is that wrong? Is it darker? Rewrite it? Yes, they do. It's right? It's correct? Okay. It's not darker? Okay. Darker and lean? Okay, go to the next guest. Here we go.
Yo, what's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
So, I just joined your live probably like 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
I'd like to ask, what do you think that we're being lied to about, like Trump supporters?
Yeah. So, first of all, we have Trump saying that he was going to lower grocery prices on day one. Not only are grocery prices not lower on day one, but he's not even trying to lower grocery prices anymore. Right after he won the election, he backtracked his confidence on it, and he said, "Well, it's going to be really hard to lower grocery prices once they're already up there." And now, not only is he not trying, he's actually trying to make grocery prices go up with these tariffs. He's trying to pass inflationary measures rather than deflationary measures, or rather than lowering of grocery prices, or rather than anything that would help regular American citizens in that regard. So that's number one. Number two, we have a national tragedy just took place. 67 Americans passed away due to a possibly preventable plane crash. And rather than him bringing the country together and speaking with empathy and saying something along the lines of, we're going to investigate and make sure something like this never happens again, he immediately deflected and tried to blame diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that was a full-blown lie. There was no evidence backing DEI causing that plane crash. And so these are all just lies happening right now. He's been lying nonstop for the past 9 years, but this is all happening right now. And that's why it's so mind-boggling to me that Trump supporters are just okay with this. Just every day he lies to you. And I don't even know if you're a Trump supporter, by the way, but that's those are just two examples. But there's yeah.
I would say that I am a Trump supporter, but I'm not like the cultist, like leftist, far right kind of Trump supporter. I'm more open-minded. I agree with both sides of the aisle, but I do lean more towards Trump. But what I will say about the food prices going up, I mean, yeah, I would say that he did say that he was going to change that on day one. But in reality, I don't think anybody that has an IQ above 85 actually thinks that he's just going to come in day one and lower grocery prices. Economically, like that's not going to happen.
So two things on that. Number one, if that's the case, then why was he so comfortable saying it? Like, why is he comfortable lying to you guys doing that? Or I guess, why are you guys okay with that? Like, you're like, he's pissing on you and calling it rain. But putting that aside, if I want to give him the absolute massive benefit of the doubt and just say he was exaggerating on day one, but in reality, he's going to push legislation that's going to lead to lower grocery prices in 6 months, I would say, all right, that counts. But he's not doing that. In fact, he has no plans for any kind of legislation to lower grocery prices. And if anything, he's pushing for higher grocery prices. That's the problem. It's not just that he said day one. It's that he's not even trying. Here's another example. So when he said he promised he was going to repeal and replace Obamacare, right? Now, had he just promised to repeal Obamacare and then it didn't pass, I wouldn't call that a lie. The reason it's a lie is because he promised to repeal and replace, and it's been 9 years, and he still has no plan to replace. He lied multiple times during his presidency, saying, "In 2 weeks, we're going to release the plan. We have a plan. We just got to finalize it. In 1 week, we're going to release the plan." Constantly lied, and that's where I'm pointing out the lie here. It's that he had no plan of replacing Obamacare. He had no plan of lowering grocery prices, but he told you guys that he would.
Right. Okay, so here's my thing on tariffs, right? So from what the media, what all these economists, what all these people are saying is that, right, we place a tariff on somebody else. That company then, when they ship it here, our shipping people from, import and export, they're the ones that pay the export, and then that cost gets passed down to us. Am I correct by saying that? That's what they're saying in the media?
Well, so the importing company pays the tariff, right?
Right.
But really quick, before we talk about the tariffs, you acknowledge what I just said, right? That those were bold-faced lies.
I will admit that he does over-exaggerate.
No. Those were lies. I'm not talking about the day one. I'm talking about the fact that he said he was going to lower grocery prices, and he doesn't have a plan to. He said he was going to replace Obamacare, and he doesn't have a plan to, right? You admit those are lies, and then we can move on.
I don't admit that the lowering grocery prices on day one is, I wouldn't say it's essentially a lie.
Ignore day one. He's not even trying to lower grocery prices at all.
Right. Well,
so why did he say it?
But there's bigger issues. I mean, it's
there's bigger issues than grocery prices? That was like the number one thing he ran on.
No, the biggest thing he ran on was deporting illegal immigrants.
Uh-huh.
That was his biggest thing that he ran on.
Okay. Well, I know that a lot of people that came up here were saying the reason is inflation, the reason is cost of living. But regardless, okay, so would you say it's the second biggest thing he ran on?
I would say, I would agree with you.
And yet he just bold-faced lied to you?
Yeah, maybe day one, because it's, like I said.
Ignore day one. Where is his plan to lower grocery prices ever?
Well, let's be honest, brother. He's only been in 2 weeks. He's got 4 years to figure that out.
Okay, well, he had 9 years to figure out a plan for replacing Obamacare. Still nothing. I don't know why you're trusting him here.
I don't really understand why he wants to replace Obamacare. I do know that it destroyed the medical industry when it first got instituted, and that's why he wanted to replace it. But I mean, that's a whole different other subject.
What do you mean destroyed the medical industry?
Well, my father's a doctor and my mother's a nurse, and they moved to private practice, which now that they're allowed to do private practice, all they can do is they can upcharge on drugs if they want to. That's what Obamacare helped to do. That's why you have all these clinics that after Obamacare got instituted, all these clinics started popping up, these walk-in clinics and, first day clinics and whatever, depending on what state you're in. Those allowed doctors to move from the healthcare district of a hospital and make their own hospital, essentially.
What does Obamacare have to do with that? How did Obamacare allow doctors to upcharge?
Because they can move to their own private practice.
They could always do that.
Yeah, but now they're not regulated by the government to do whatever they want with their prices.
No, wait.
And that's why.
Wait, when were they? I'm sorry. You're saying Obamacare deregulated doctors?
Not necessarily like deregulated them, but they have leeway now to raise prices on drugs that they're basically giving out to people.
So, okay, so you're saying Obamacare did something to allow them to raise prices on drugs that wasn't there before?
I mean, sorry, say that again?
Prior to Obamacare, there was something preventing doctors from upcharging. By the way, doctors aren't the ones that sell prescriptions, but let's put that aside. There was something preventing doctors from upcharging. And now Obamacare makes it so that they can't upcharge.
Essentially, in layman's terms, yes.
Okay, but that's not correct. There's nothing in Obamacare that allowed that. So that's why I'm lost here.
If you, I mean, you could say what you want, but my parents are like actively in the industry.
Perfect. Do you want to put them on? I'll talk to them.
And the wealth that they accrued since Obamacare got put into place was almost tenfold before Obamacare put into place. It's not like they just went privatized and all of a sudden now my parents are just super rich just because they went private. They were allowed to do things. It's kind of like a gray area of a regulation, how everything has a gray area. Like they were allowed to do these things because Obamacare was put into place, and all these clinics could pop up and do what they wanted
Nothing
to.
about Obamacare allowed them to do these things, is what I'm telling you.
I mean that's your opinion. But
No,
I
it's
mean,
not
I
an
live-
opinion.
I live-
It's not an opinion. If
It
you
is.
if you
It
have
is.
if you have the part of Obamacare that allowed this, I'd love to see it. But there's nothing. Obamacare doesn't do that.
Then what does Obamacare do to you?
Okay.
What did Obamacare do?
Obamacare made it so that insurance companies can no longer discriminate based on pre-existing conditions. That's number one. Number two, it made it so that there was a marketplace of insurance companies that participated to where Americans can receive subsidies when they sign up for health insurance. Those subsidies are income-based, and it made it so that more Americans were covered. Okay?
Right.
Those are
And
just
now,
two. Yeah.
And exactly, right? So now you have more people that are allowed health care, which what happens when more people want a product of something because they need it, right? Supply and demand kind of economics come into place. If you have more people that want a drug because they need that drug, what do you think the price of that drug is going to do?
So you think fewer people should have health care, is what you just said, right?
I'm not saying that. That's not what I said.
Okay, so you said the problem with Obamacare was that more people got health care.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay, repeat what you said.
I said that when Obamacare was instituted, it allowed doctors to go outside and do privatized health care.
Always the case. They could have always done that.
They could have took in more clients.
You're saying,
Right.
okay, so you're saying Obamacare led to higher demand.
Yes.
Yes.
Which
Do you know why it led to a higher demand for health insurance?
Because it allowed more people to get health insurance.
Yes.
For free.
How is that a bad thing?
Like I said, I've never said that was a bad thing.
From the very start, you said Obamacare destroyed the healthcare industry, and that's why Trump wanted to get rid of it. That's the first thing you said.
And here's how it destroyed it, right? Because instead of making an actual reform, not Obamacare, but an actual reform that would help people go into an actual hospital and not go to an urgent care clinic or something like that, that would have helped many more people if we could have given them health care to go to an actual hospital. But now that they haven't gone to an actual hospital and they're going to all these urgent cares and everything else, every single drug price that we've had before Obamacare has almost went up 5 or 6 times.
You can still go to a hospital under Obamacare. I don't know where you're getting this information.
Right. But now you have more options, though, under the Obamacare to go to urgent cares and
That's
everything else.
good. More options is good.
Right, but urgent cares are not under the same regulations as regular hospitals, though, as when it comes to issuing out medication that they pay for. When you privatize something, they're going to upcharge for that medication. Go into a private sector of anything.
Where are
and
you
see-
getting this information that urgent cares are not under the same regulation as hospitals? Where did you get that information?
My parents, they
Okay, put
literally
them on.
work in the
Put them on.
industry. I don't live with my parents. I'm not 12 years old.
Okay.
But anyways, let's go back to tariffs. Forget all this Obamacare stuff, right?
Well, no. I can't. Here's the problem. What I do on these lives is I don't allow pivots without concessions. So I need you to admit that Trump lied to you when he said,
Yeah, I know. This is your live. Yeah.
Yeah.
I admit that what I said was wrong because my parents, obviously, they told me lies as
Hold
their...
on. No. You're misinterpreting what I'm saying. Hold on. We can. You know what? Because your parents aren't here, I'm not gonna push you on that. The lie was when Trump said he wanted to he was going to repeal and replace Obamacare, and that he had a plan to replace it. He never had a plan.
Yeah, he was probably talking out of his ass. 100%.
What is talking out of his ass? What is that? Talking out of his ass to deceive. What is that?
I mean, a lie?
It's a lie. Okay, so you admit that he lied, correct?
Sure.
Thank you. That's it. That's all I needed. Okay.
All right, so let's start talking about tariffs.
Let's talk about tariffs.
So we've already established that, the port or the whatever they comes in on, they're the ones that pay the tax and comes down to the people, right?
Not the port. No, the importing company.
Same thing.
No, that is
They
not the same
work
thing.
at
The port.
They work at the port.
No.
So you're telling me the import company doesn't work at the port? They're not the ones that are intaking the actual goods and selling it to the companies?
The importing company does not need to work at the port. No.
So who works at the port then?
Longshoremen.
Which are usually they're contracted out for a company. You're moving a product for
That's
somebody
right.
else.
That's correct. Yes, they are contracted. Yeah.
Okay. So they technically work for that company because they're subcontracted out for said company.
What? How does that
All
change
right.
what I'm saying? The port does not pay any of the tariffs. It's the importing company that does.
Either way. Right. Okay, we'll just go with that, right? Okay. So they're the ones that pay the tariff and then it gets sent down to the consumer, right?
What generally what it does is it increases the cost for them, so that passes down to the consumer. That's right.
Right, yeah, because then they just relay that whatever increase was 10% or whatever it is back down to the consumer. So when we were going to put our tariffs on Canada and on Mexico, we were going to pay whatever they're importing into our country. That's what we were going to pay that increase, right? So then,
at the minimum, there was also the potential that some things would just be cut off. Like Canada was threatening to cut off the oil which goes to the northern states. But yes, at a minimum, would be paying 25% more on goods being imported from Canada and Mexico, which are our two biggest trading partners.
right. So why do you think then and therefore, with the current state of Canada is already in, with their economy literally on a steady decline every single year, why would then they put a tariff on us to make their goods more expensive for their own people?
It's called a retaliatory tariff. It's supposed to put pressure
right,
on the United States to drop their tariffs.
But if the tariff is only going to make things worse for us, why would they put a tariff on themselves for make things more expensive for their people to purchase?
I'm not Google, man. Just Google retaliatory tariffs.
Right. That's why I think a lot of these people are lying about how
No. You don't know what's going on. Just Google retaliatory tariffs. I'm not gonna go through it with you. The point is that they want the United States to feel the pressure to where they get rid of the tariffs. That's what China did. So China did retaliatory tariffs on our soybeans, and it destroyed us. It destroyed the soybean farmers to the point where the small soybean farmers went out of business, and the big ones got bailed out by Donald Trump. Billions of dollars, right, of our taxpayer money went to bail out soybean farmers because of retaliatory tariffs.
But that's what I'm trying to say is how come retaliatory tariffs don't for some reason they don't affect their economy?
They do affect their economy.
Our economy.
No, but they do affect their economy.
I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me to make stuff more expensive for your people after the other people already put a tariff out and it's already affecting them.
Because it's not. You need to look at the intentionality. They're not you doing those tariffs to harm their people. They're doing those tariffs so the United States fucks off.
Well, right, but if we're already implementing tariffs that are already affecting our own economy, because that's how they're done, I guess, why would they institute tariffs on themselves to then make it more harder for them to pay for stuff already on themselves? That doesn't make any sense. If that's how tariffs work, because that's how the economists explain that tariffs work, why would you put tariffs on another country so your stuff is more expensive?
So it makes it less lucrative, right, for the United States, because Canadians will no longer buy the product from the United States. So that way, the United States rethinks their stupid 25% tariffs. If you want a more detailed explanation, just go to Google and type in retaliatory tariffs, and it'll give you a full, detailed explanation. I'm not going to go through that with you because it doesn't seem like you want to learn.
I don't need to learn. I can see the basic evidence in front of me. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand what the economists are already telling us on live television.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
So you just said you don't need to learn.
No, I mean, that's what everyone else does, right? They watch everything on TikTok and they watch everything on CNN and Fox News and MSNBC and everything else. Why do I need to go read a website if little actual worldwide economists are telling me how they work on national television?
So you trust worldwide economists?
They make the world run, don't they? On the
Okay,
economy.
so all right, so 23 Nobel Prize winning economists endorsed Kamala Harris's economic plan over Donald Trump's. They said that Donald Trump's economic plan would likely lead to a recession within 1 year of his presidency, and you voted for Donald Trump. So it doesn't sound like you actually care about what economists think.
Actually, I didn't vote at all.
Yeah,
From
you're probably not old enough.
honestly. No, I'm 28 years old and I'm in the U.S. military.
Well, thank you for your service, but regardless, you would have voted for Trump. So
No, I just like his candidacy better than I liked Kamala's. That was it.
Kamala's, yes, that means you would have voted for Trump. I don't know why you're backpedaling. It's very clear you would have voted for Trump.
Yep.
Yeah, and so you don't care about what economists think because economists said do not vote for Trump. This is terrible. You don't care about what economists think. You also don't care about what information shows you. You're taking the raw first piece of information about how tariffs work, and then you're not taking the rest of the information because you said you don't need to learn. I'm absolutely lost on everything about you as a person. But anyway, you got voted out. You have a good night. He said I don't need to learn, chat. I can't. Emily, thank you for the $5. Opinions are the devil. Appreciate you, Dan. Thank you so much, Emily. Anti-intellectualism is going to be the death of this country. Go to the next guest. He accused knowledge. Wait, you remember when he said... Oh my god. Oh, man. Hi, welcome up.
Hey, I'm actually in here. But yeah, I love Trump. I don't like Kamala at all.
Why?
Kamala is an idiot.
Kamala.
Whatever. I don't really think it does matter, but Kamala is an idiot, and I
Wait,
think
you're not gonna pronounce it right?
Kamala. Is there really a difference?
There is. One is Kamala and one is Kamala. It's pronounced Kamala.
Okay. But I mean, Trump is way better of a candidate than Kamala or Kamala.
I can't. 3 strikes. Go to the next guest. Hello?
I had a question on where do I find reliable news? I'm usually like getting all my news from TikTok and stuff, and that's not really reliable, or I wouldn't say it is. So where would you recommend getting my news from?
So I hear really good things about Ground News, which shows like the different biases of different news stories. In terms of actual raw reporting, I really like Reuters, Associated Press, BBC. So like it's okay to get like news from social media, but then double check, right? And
Yeah.
read the full article on one of those websites.
hmm Okay, and yeah, thank you for that. And
No problem.
it's really hard, during this time when you're just getting bombarded with a lot of biases and stuff like that. So I was just wondering what you
Yeah.
would like your opinion. And yeah, so you said Ground News?
Yeah, I hear really good things about Ground News, which compiles the news of like the day, and it also shows like the biases for each of the stories. But if you don't want to do that, you could also just whenever you hear something, just find the article on
Yes.
one of the
Yes.
reputable sources, Reuters,
Yeah.
Associated Press, etc.
Mhm. Okay. Well, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How you get mad about the name? That's crazy. It's just, what kind of conversation am I gonna have with someone who can't pronounce a person's name? Like he gave you 3-4 tries. You couldn't do it. Could have just called her Harris. But bro doesn't want to talk about real things. Anthony, you opened up with, I really love Trump because Kamala is an idiot. Yeah, those are real things. That's some real good policy. Hi, welcome up.
Hi, how are you doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. I supported Kamala Harris. Sorry, I came up to say hello to you, brother. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be in the listening panel, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right, thanks. Thank you, brother.
Are you ready to be respectful?
I'll call her Harris.
Okay.
But why do you support
her? Well, I mean, currently she's not running for anything, but I supported her in the election because she had a much more comprehensive plan than her opponent. She had a plan she had 4 separate policies to lower the cost of living. Donald Trump had 0. I supported her because she didn't try to overthrow the government. I supported her because she didn't sexually assault anyone. But I mean, we could go wherever you want to go. We could go one of 3 places: policy, character, or democracy. Whichever one you want to go.
Right. Yeah, so going back to the sexual assault cases, if he was an actual rapist, why didn't he get charged like Bill Cosby or whatnot?
So the charges were outside of the statute of limitations. So it was a civil case. He was found liable by a jury of his peers. 9 out of 9 jury members found him liable based on the evidence. And I think it's really weird and kind of strange to vote for somebody who was found liable for sexual assault.
Yeah, but like let's talk about like civil cases or rape cases for other people, because I think it's personally almost like the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case where, you know, just a bunch of women lied to get money. He's a very successful man. I think we can both agree that he was very successful.
Let me just stop you right there. Did you look at the evidence of the E. Jean Carroll case?
I did not actually.
You did.
I just think it's a.
So why are you just assuming? Why are you jumping to his defense? Like what?
I just think
what is he doing for you? Like, are the back shots that good? Come on. You don't have to jump to his defense. You can look into the case and make your own determination.
All right, I didn't even come after you, first of all, and you over here interrupting me. Don't get emotional now.
I mean, I don't like that people come up and immediately defend a sexual abuser without looking at the information.
But you're interrupting me again.
Well, yeah, no, because what you just said when you said you didn't look into the case, but you already are defending him, is interrupt worthy. Yes, you are a bad faith actor.
I did look into it. I didn't.
No, you didn't at all. You didn't. Don't walk it back now.
But you're getting emotional, dog. I'm having a regular conversation.
No. I do get emotional when people support sexual abusers. Yes, I get emotional when people support sexual abusers. You're right. You got me, man.
But you don't even know that. If he was an actual sexual abuser, why is he not in prison? Is my question.
Get him the hell out of here. I answered this question. The ridges in your brain aren't functioning right now. I answered this question. It was a civil case because it was outside of the statute of limitations.
No, because it was a civil case because it was a political.
Based entirely on your vibes and feelings. You didn't even look into the case. You didn't even look into the case. You just are in a cult and you will defend him no matter what. He could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't lose any voters, and he was 100% right about that. No matter what happened, what the evidence was, you didn't look at it. You just assume it's a political hit job. You assume that the reason that she filed the suit now is because she wants money, even though you didn't look at the case. That's why I'm getting emotional, because I don't care about the opinions of people who hate women. And that's what it takes to not even look at the case of a woman who was sexually abused by the guy you voted for.
I love my mother. I love my girlfriend.
Oh wow, that's so. I didn't know misogynists had to be born from fathers. I didn't know misogynists couldn't have mothers.
Why are you getting so emotional like a female, dog? This is what I'm talking
Oh, like a female. Okay, so you,
Yeah,
you
you're
think men
beta.
can't be
It's called
emotional?
beta.
So first of all, just
It's
so we're
called
clear,
beta.
you just outed yourself as a misogynist. Period. Right there. Super
Bro,
disgusting.
you're coming at, you're putting labels on me like right away. I'm having a regular conversation. You want to incite
This
me?
is not a
Bro,
regular
if
conversation.
you want
There aren't regular people who immediately jump to the defense of men without looking at the evidence provided by women. Those aren't regular people. Those are rape apologists. Get fucked. Okay? Jesus Christ.
Hey, Dan.
Hi, welcome up.
What?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. I just want to. So I did vote for Trump. Could I clear some things up? I know you are very factual. You do a lot better job than Dean. He spreads a lot of lies. Is that guy still in the comments? Anthony is. So Anthony, he was convicted of sexual abuse, right? But he invited her into a single person changing room, and she agreed so that he could see her try on a dress for his friend, correct? Dan?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh, what did you think happened?
What do I think happened? You mean the whole case? You want to go through the whole case?
Yeah, so the reason why she waited to press charges was because her mom liked Trump.
The
You
reason
never heard that
that
either? She waited 20 years. This happened in 1990.
Hold on a second. Are you saying that it's up to you when a woman wants to come out about her abuse?
Considering that 40% of rape cases are false, yeah. DOJ. Look it up.
Did you just say 40% of rape cases are false?
Look it up. Look up DOJ.
DOJ is not a source.
The
DOJ what?
Department of Justice.
Yeah, what's this? DOJ what? What is their report?
They did a study on rape cases.
The DOJ did a study on rape cases and determined that 40% of rape cases were false. Is that's what
Look
you're
it
telling
up, dude. Please.
I'm gonna look up DOJ rape. Normally, I would ask you for the source, but something tells me you're not gonna be here very long.
I've been up here before, and we came to the agreement that I'd wait like a year into his presidency because we haven't seen enough, and I think he's doing a great job. Ending tax loopholes, ending the tax on overtime.
It hasn't happened yet at all, but okay.
Well, it's going to happen pre-March 14th when the government shuts down. He's got to come up with a new budget to keep the government open.
Yep, I don't see anything about what you just described.
Give me 1
Appreciate you
second. I
about
can't talk when I'm on TikTok, so.
Yeah.
So I looked up Department of Justice false rape study, and it came up right away.
It's 2 to 10%. And considering the number of cases where the woman is actually found to have falsified, like proven, it's between
41%. 41%. That is way too high.
Dude, that's literally not what I said. The number of cases that a woman is found to have falsified a claim is between 7 and 2%. A claim, okay? So you're completely off base.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm
No,
talking to
I
Dan
know.
here.
Where are you getting the
Like,
information
this
that
is
it's
literally
40%? Because
what I
it's not in the study. You're just wrong.
Department of Justice false rape study.
Yes,
will look at it
yes,
one
I
more
looked it
time.
up. It doesn't say that.
Yeah,
It
so
says in the
the
study,
Pennsylvania
41%
Is that Grok AI?
of the total rape cases. I have to keep going back and forth because I'm on my phone here.
So the Pennsylvania Coalition Against
Were
Rape,
officially declared false.
the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape says between 2 and 7%.
Well, the Department of Justice, which is a government
Oh, I'm sorry.
organization,
Is Pennsylvania not part of the government? They don't. They don't
it
participate.
is,
I'm
but I
still
haven't
waiting
read
for you to
Right?
provide. I'm still waiting for you to provide the actual source, Cody. You just keep saying DOJ rape study. It doesn't say that. The study
So
doesn't
look
say
it
that.
up on Google. Look up on Google. It's
I
the
looked it up on
first
Google.
thing
The
that
study
pops
doesn't say
up.
that.
It does. I'm reading it right now.
Yo, perfect. Tell me. Send it to me. What?
Okay.
What is?
I'll send the link in the chat.
Yeah, he doesn't actually know what he's talking about. He hasn't done any research in this. He just doesn't believe women, and he wants to be able to just say that, women are just overreacting, which I'm sure is his
Even if it is
common
10%,
go-to
that's
thing.
still a lot.
Compared to 90?
People's lives get ruined.
I'm
You can look
sorry,
at
sir. Are
the.
you saying compared to 90? 90%.
Well, I don't think it's. I think it's 60-40. So
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like somebody should go back to school because that's not how numbers work.
what you think it's 90-10. I think it's 60-40. Both of those add up to 100.
Well, you said. Listen. You said. Well, 10 is still a lot. People's lives get ruined. And she said compared to 90, and now you're backtracking. You're like, okay, well, I guess. So are you admitting 10 isn't that much?
I'm. I think 10% is still a lot.
Compared to 90?
90 is a
And
lot
would you
too.
like to consider like the number of women whose lives are ruined by this and how this affects them the rest of their life versus a man who can just walk away and it doesn't bother him at all? And who faces the repercussions for this? And do you know the number of cases that actually reach trial? It sounds like you have a lot of big opinions for somebody who's done very little research. Oh, I love the smirky little chuckle. So confident you are in literally nothing. You are going off of vibes, just like Dan would say. And you
seem
have
pretty
nothing to
pressed
back
that
it up. You have
that
nothing to
40%
back
rape
it
cases
up
are
except
false.
feeling bad for men who are committing crimes. So it sounds like you're a rape apologist, and you should really do some reflecting on that because it doesn't look good at
Yeah,
all.
it doesn't look good that 40% of rape cases are false.
Right.
Again,
Can you do
bud,
me a
you're
favor?
real bad at math.
Do me a favor. Listen, I'm gonna ask you, Cody. Do me a favor, okay? I want you to find the tree that's been tasked with replacing the oxygen that you waste and apologize, because I am so done. How is that 2 rape apologists in a row? I can't do it.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of them out there. They just feel more confident now because it's normalized. How much water do you have left? You should take a sip of water.
Thank you. Dan, look at the date on the article. Did he link the article? The study was of 45 cases studied in one town in the Midwest. Oh my God. Oh, from 2001, I see. Okay, I see this case. 2001, it was 45 cases in one small town.
I didn't even get to pull up the rain facts. I could have gone off on all of the rain facts. I didn't get a chance.
Oh my God, bro.
He was too busy trying to argue that that those poor 10%. Oh, he must really like, the 1%ers too, Dan. I bet he loves both of those groups.
Someone was asking to see the study. It's right here.
If anybody really wants to see like real research, go to rainn.org. And then from there, you're going to want to go into their research. And they have all the stats.
Wait, not only is
I didn't even get to
was
go
the
there.
study published in 2001, but the data was from 1978 to 1987.
Yeah. So here, I'm going to send you this one that you can actually pull up to look at real things. I was like trying to eat dinner and then I'm like, no, we're not doing this. Yeah, number of victims each year. We've got the number of children. We've got the we've got the rarity. We've got the break-ins. We've got all of the things. So if you want research, like real research, go to Rain's website.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome. I'm gonna go eat my dinner. Please keep tapping the screen. I want my crab rave. I want your crab.
I didn't realize you were. I didn't realize you were starting a sentence when I kicked you. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Actually, bring him up so he answers. Wait, is he still requesting? I mean, he did get kicked by chat. To be fair.
You talk about extreme.
I know, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'd love to hear him defend that study, though. Well, here's what he's going to say. He's going to say, "Oh, so now Democrats don't care about what the studies show." And the reality is, I'm not discounting the study, but you have to take it in context. This is a study of 45 cases from the 70s to the 80s, and is not indicative of the wide array of metadata and analyses that determine that it's between 2 and, what did she say, 2 and 10%. Well, we hit 90K. Yeah, and things are very different. To be clear, things are very different from 1980 to 2025. Why did she wait so long, Dan? Angus, I don't know if you know this, because you probably don't know any women, but it can be very difficult for someone to come out about a sexual assault. And it is up to the woman when, or if at all, she wants to come out. Now, if you think it's up to you, then you can go kick rocks. It was a polygraph based study. Okay, I'm uninstalling I'm uninstalling my life. I think we're good here. Hold on.
Come on, man. Finish him.
Okay. Listen, we hit 90K. We're gonna do the crab rave, but I do want a buffer from the last guest. I'm gonna bring up a couple guests to bring the vibes up to get us ready for the crab rave. I do need a buffer though. Thank you so much, Kimberly. You said Tanner?
What up, Dan?
Hey, what's up?
Congratulations on 90K, brother. That is absolutely astronomical, and we all love you so very much.
Thank you so much.
So, just quickly, I know you said you wanted to get a buffer and get away from that. I would just inquire how Donald Trump's life specifically got ruined by these false allegations. And also, I would love to see how many of these 10% of false allegations were recanted because of pressure. So that's two things that guest should consider. Not that he's going to. Main reason I came up was to say congratulations, brother.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Have a good night, man.
You as well. Thank you, Logan. Thank you, Miles. Also, thank you, Kylie, for $10. Thank you for fighting fiercely on the essay stuff. I get heated with that. Civil lawsuits are often the only avenue left with how short the statute of limitations are in many states. This happened to me, and I hate when it is delegitimized. It hurts. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kylie, for the $10. I wish I didn't have to. Jocelyn, thank you for the $1. Anytime MAGA provides a source, they always nitpick the part that aligns with their bias and never read the full article. Reading and reading comprehension are never in the room with us. Yeah. Rachel, thank you for the $10. Vote to kick this Joker, please. P.S. You're such a hottie. Thank you. Also, I'm sorry I didn't see this. I don't know what guest this was for, but thank you so much. Okay. 1 second, chat. 1 second. Where is my Discord messages? Do you know if Dan got my PayPal? I was having issues earlier. Let me see who that is. Yes, I think I just read it. The person that just said that, I think I just read it. Okay, really quick.
Yo.
Hey.
All right, I want to say something just really quickly because I don't come up here often in a serious manner, but sometimes things piss me the fuck off, and I'm gonna keep it cool. I promise. So I don't even know how to put it into words, but when somebody comes up and talks about that only that 40% of people are lying about being raped, it fucking hurts because I have been sexually assaulted. My father sexually assaulted me when I was young. I don't tell anyone because nobody believes me. My mom doesn't know. My brother doesn't know. So when people say that, why did they hold it off for so long? Like why did people? You know what I mean? Like what people say, why did you hold it off for so long? They must be lying. Sometimes it is too hard to tell people. I cannot let anyone go around my behind area. I cannot let a male go around my front area because I'm scared. It is not easy to tell people that we live we live in a weird society where this shit is not normal. It is not normal to open up your feelings as a male or as a female, and it's hard. This is my father. I see him consistently. I see him quite a bit, and I still work with him, but I cannot look at him in the eyes ever. I cannot look him in the eyes. So it's hard to get my emotions out. So that's why I'm trying to keep it cool. But to anyone that says that people are faking this shit, to say that E. Jean Carroll was making this shit up, shame on you. Like absolutely fucking shame on you. Because I'm not lying about this shit. And I know E. Jean Carroll's not lying about this shit. And people are not lying about this shit. It's not a fucking joke. This is not a fucking joke. This happens way too much. And people defend the people who, I don't know if I can say the word R-A-P-E, but grapes, the grapists, people defend the grapist way too much, like fucking constantly. And it, yeah. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Thank you so much for coming up and
yeah,
sharing
dude.
that.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye. Wicked Gore, thank you for the $1. This is why I stopped being misinformed. Too many sweats. Okay, that's a good donation. Rough timing, but that was good. Yeah, Tanner, thank you so much for coming up. Gonna need another buffer before the crab rave, but sorry, I'm just processing, guys.
They're eating the dogs.
Thank you, Logan. Yeah, Kylie and Tanner, thank you guys for sharing your stories. Hey, Sacha.
Green.
Sacha,
Yeah.
you there? Probably misclicked.
Hi, Dan.
Hi.
And chat. I just wanted to come up and say that if anybody was feeling any particular way or triggered at all, there are definitely resources out there and people that you can call and talk to. If you just type in a hotline regarding the particular nature of what we're talking about and stuff will come up. You are never alone in any of these things. There are organizations and countless people out there that are out there for support. So don't be shy. They are more than happy to help, trust me. All right. Bye, Dan.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Hi, Dan. Hi,
welcome up.
Chad. I just wanted to pop in and kind of try and lighten the mood a lot. I feel like a lot of the listeners have gone through similar stuff, unfortunately. I think it drives people to empathy more when you've experienced hardships. But just on I guess on a lighter note, I really appreciate getting to see these lives when I'm scrolling through TikTok. I always try to stop and watch them. It makes such an important impact, and I think that can be kind of forgotten, or when you hear it so much, the impact of hearing that is dulled. But it does make a difference, and it does like change people's opinions or perspectives or give people hope when things feel hopeless. And so, that's what these lives are to me, is to watch these debates and to see the humanity from you.
Thanks, Obama.
And, on rare occasions from the people that you get to debate with, but, especially just at least from you, being able to talk to these people and show such empathy. It's really, really refreshing. And, it's really good to see, especially having family that is on the MAGA side of things. And it's so hard for me to talk to them without getting so angry and not being able to articulate clearly. So it's really refreshing to see, people, you and Dean and Parker, who can get on this app and really make space for these conversations. Like, these are emotionally toiling conversations, and I really appreciate that you have them, and I appreciate getting to be part of them, even if it's just sitting in the chat or, hopefully getting to sit here and try and lift the spirits a little bit and encourage you in what you're doing. And, I appreciate that. And giving people a platform, even just allowing people to speak about those hard topics. It's so, so important that people have space. We are, as a society, sometimes so focused on only ever feeling positive things, and it can be hard for people to want to share because it's scary. And so, you give a platform for that as well. And I think that's really important. So that's really all I wanted to come up here to say, was just to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, encouraging you that, you're handling things better than a lot of people. You're handling things better than me. I avoid these things most of the time because it devolves very quickly. But yeah, lots of respect, lots of care. Really excited for Crab Rave. Keep doing your thing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's pretty much it. Bye, guys.
Bye. Rose, thank you for the sub. Fernando, thank you for the $3. Hi, Dan. Unsure if you got my last message. Thoughts on the Florida special elections and the Ron DeSanctimonious takeover of public universities? Thank you for everything you do. So the Florida special elections are a long shot, but I think we do still need to try. Because if we win these seats, we actually put an end to the Donald Trump agenda in as early as 60 days, and I think that's awesome. But it is a very, very uphill climb. I don't know enough about the public universities thing to speak on it. Have you seen any MAGA change their views with this? Yes. I have a really good 3-hour video on my YouTube with one guy. He's the most famous convert, but we've had at least 10 to 15 more were after the election, but at least 10 to 15 MAGA changing their opinions, but then dozens of people that were on the fence or were leaning towards Trump changed their opinions. Okay.
Congratulations on 90K,
Thank you so
Dan.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
That is exciting. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm trying to
You okay?
recalibrate my mood, but
Yeah, so I was gonna come up and do a little bit. You said you want a little bit of a palate cleanser, and I just wanted to piggyback on your point about Florida. Um, I do have teams. I know you have teams as well. But what's going on right now? Postcards. If you all are interested in sending postcards to the Dems in Florida, you do not have to live in Florida, but I have the information. I have the email address. So you email, I don't remember her name, but you email her and tell her how many postcards you want. She will mail you the postcards, and it's going to have all the instructions in it, what to say when you send them out. Susan, yeah, give me a follow. My page is private. It's fine. My page has to be private because I have to vet everybody. But phone banking, yes. But I do have the information for the postcards. If you give me a follow. So yeah, we're going to need to fight, and the best way to do this one is going to get all hands on deck. So I think the postcard is going to be a
hold on one
great way.
second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. M. Jones, for
Oh my gosh, thank you.
yeah, I just needed
Oh
to
wow.
it was drowning you out.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't even looking at the phone. Oh, thank you, Dr. M. Jones. Oh wow. Um, Also really quick, New York, also their special elections is March 25th. If we take all three, we will have House majority. But bare minimum is to get two, so we can at least tie it. So we don't have to wait until 2026, everyone. Let's get all hands on deck. Let's try to, I mean, it's in deep red counties in Florida, but we can try. Maybe some of them are pissed off enough now with the shit he's doing, to where they'll go ahead and vote Dem. We can only hope, keep up the good work. I wanted to give you that palate cleanser so we can, how much longer are you going to be on for?
At least 2 hours.
Okay. I'll give you some time to shake it off a little bit.
All right. Thank you so much, Story.
All right. Nice to see you. All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
What was for dinner? I haven't had dinner yet. All right. Where are we at here, real quick? Okay. So, first of all, if you're here for the first time, thank you all so much for joining. We're live Wednesdays to Saturdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, doing live political debates, political discussions, and fact checks. We are currently live on 3 platforms: TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. If you're not following on YouTube and Twitch, you might want to, because we're still on borrow time on TikTok. We have less than 60 days, I think, and there's been no forward progress in either overturning the TikTok ban or delaying it any further. So, if you could do me a favor and just follow on here, follow on YouTube, follow on Twitch, whichever you prefer. It's all in my bio, links in bio. So I'm gonna raise the desk in preparation for the crab rave. YouTube, I'm gonna turn off audio because YouTube is gonna be upset with the music that I'm gonna play. But it's something that a lot of people said they were missing. So I'm gonna turn off the audio. And y'all might have to experience the crab rave on TikTok. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. YouTube and Twitch. I'm turning off the audio. But okay, here we go. Thank you all for your patience. For those of you that are here for the first time, we usually do these at either 1 million likes or every 10,000 followers. We hit 90,000 followers tonight. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all so much. Thank all 90,000 of you, except for the 200 or so, which are sex bots. But I appreciate you guys. And we're about to do a crab rave. If you never experienced a crab rave before, this will be interesting. Just going to fix the camera exposure real quick. Thank you so much, Alexandra. $90K in one night? No. No. We hit $90K over the course of the past 117 nights. Okay. So let me pull it up. It's been a while, chat. We haven't done a crab rave in a while. Oh my! It's on my YouTube homepage. So, once again, I want to thank all of you for being here, whether you were here on night 1 or whether you're here on night 117. Every single one of you is an integral part of this community. Everything I do is not possible without you guys. From the mods, to the viewers, to the gifters, to the tappers, and you know what? Even to the smooth-brained debaters that join these lives. Every single one of you is an integral part of what makes these lives so special. Thank you all so much for being here and for participating in democracy. And now, let's get it. I don't know where I would be without this community. From the TikTok to the Discord and the small community we're slowly building on YouTube and Twitch. You guys are the best. I can't wait to spend the rest of 2025 with you. The first month was about 4 years long, but we're going to get through it together. I love you all, and get on your feet. Thank you all for 90,000 followers. I never thought we would get to 900 followers, let alone 90,000. I love and appreciate every single one of you. And I'm going to unmute for YouTube and Twitch. I'm sorry you guys missed all the fun. All right. I got to thank some people. Thank you, Nelly, for the cheering crabs. Thank you, Miles, for the cheering crabs. Thank you, Elaine, for the cheering crabs. STLA, thank you. Sweet Pea, thank you. Emmy Gray, thank you. Not on Earth 1, thank you. Alexandra, thank you. Well, that was lit. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I imagine there's got to be... I'm putting a poll. Laughing emoji if... Laughing emoji if you've been to one of our crab raves before. Crying emoji if this is your first time. Laughing emoji if you've been here before for a crab rave. Crying emoji if this is your first crab rave with us. Okay. A lot of fresh faces. Anthony, thank you for the $2. Back to harass you about working out. And thank you for the other $2. Someone asked if I was okay while walking my dog. Love the crab rave. That's so funny. You know what, Anthony? Maybe I'll work out right now. During the next guest. I'm already standing. Why not? What was the poll? It's laughing emoji if you've been to one of our crab raves before. Crying emoji if this is your first one. My daughter just witnessed her first crab rave. That's awesome. No, Wikigor, I'm keeping the shirt on. The shirt that triggered our first guest and made him run. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you for all the shares, Daisy. Chat already getting thirsty. Yeah, it's a little early. Messages, yes. My first crab rave, I loved it. Melissa, thank you so much for the $25. Congrats on 90K and all the celebration emojis. Thank you so much, Melissa. I really appreciate that. We got to try to get to 100K before TikTok gets banned. We need the Thirst Trap Dan photo. What, for motivation? This one? Okay. We're gonna do some guests. I gotta do something real quick. This right here. Shout out to Carcel, Abival, and Alexandra. Thank you so much for tapping the screen in the fastest and most quantitative amount in the past hour. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna reset that. All right, where were we? Nope, not that. Chat, I'm still getting used to OBS. Sorry. Capitalism. Department of Grifting and Embezzlement. Guest is not connecting. No, Chelsea, this is from this is not like a super sleeper build. This is from 2019. This is no longer the case. All right, going to the next guest. This one's not connecting. Hi, welcome up.
Are you okay with 20 million in Iraqi Sesame Street and 2 million in Guatemalan sex changes?
Guatemalan sex changes?
Yeah, you're okay with it or what?
Yeah, I am. That sounds based. Are you okay with $200 billion being added to Elon Musk's net worth the moment Donald Trump won the election?
That's Elon Musk's net worth, not my taxpayer dollars, dude.
Oh, well, your taxpayer dollars are going to go to subsidizing Tesla and subsidizing Elon Musk's wealth because Donald Trump will cut his taxes once again. Donald Trump will cut his taxes once again.
It was Democrats wanted to give that. Democrats want electric cars, dude, not Republicans.
Well, why are you yelling?
I'm just telling you the truth. You want 20 million for Iraqi Sesame Street, 2 million for Guatemalan sex changes.
Bro, yeah, 2 million for Guatemalan sex changes. That's base as fuck.
Elon Musk anyways.
I love it.
And it was going to Elon Musk
2
See,
million for
we
Guatemalan
fucking
sex changes sounds
dude.
amazing.
What?
Wait, so
2
if I go to
million for
Guatemala,
sex
can I
changes?
get a free sex change?
You go to Guatemala, they're paying for it.
Yeah, it's
My
been
tax
debunked.
dollars
What
paying
you're
for
talking
it.
about? What you're talking about was a lie on X.com. You know that website that Elon Musk bought to turn it into a propaganda machine to melt your brain.
It was the press
So-
secretary that said it, dude. The
Yes,
president-
but
press
she can lie.
secretary,
Yes,
she's
she is
lying.
able to lie. That is correct.
She's
So
lying, dude.
yeah. So
20 million for Iraqi Sesame Street. She just lie about it.
something that you guys
Why wouldn't CNN and MSNBC saying she's lying? They're not.
okay. So something that you
So
guys
you can say
something
they're
that you
lying
guys
for
will
a
never
fucking
understand.
TikToker, dude, get out of here.
Are you okay? Are you gonna be able to collect
I'm
your
just saying,
emotions?
you
or-
can say they're lying because you're a TikToker, but CNN and MSNBC can't say they're lying. 'cause
What have you
it's
been
the truth.
drinking?
You just make shit up.
What have you
dude.
been drinking, sir?
I don't need. I drink whatever I want to drink, dude.
Well,
They
yeah,
make
no. I'm not saying
$20
don't. I'm just asking what
for
you've been
Iraqi
drinking. I'm
sex
curious.
changes.
Maybe I'll join you.
They paid $20 million for
Maybe I'll join
Iraqi
you.
Sesame Street, dude.
Maybe I'll join you. What are you
20
drinking?
million for Iraqi Sesame
What are you
Street,
drinking?
dude? CNN and MSNBC.
What
ain't
are you
saying it.
drinking? That's not a
we
drink.
So we should believe you because you're on TikTok, dude. We should believe you because you're on TikTok.
What are you
But we don't believe
drinking, bro?
MSNBC or CNN.
What are you drinking?
You just make shit up, dude. You're making shit up.
I'm asking you what you're drinking.
I'm just saying you're making shit up. Why? Is
I didn't,
MSNBC
bro. I'm not even
saying
making
it?
anything.
Or
Listen,
CNN
I
saying
said I was okay with it, even if it's true. I'm okay with it. The 20 million
20
Iraqi
million
Sesame Street. That's
Iraqi
fine.
Sesame
Listen,
Street.
the moment that Donald Trump stops cutting taxes for the top 1% and adding $8 trillion to our deficit, we can talk about $20 million. I don't know if you know the difference between a trillion and a million.
Money, dude.
I don't know if you know the difference between
who
a
would've made
trillion
lot
and a
more
million.
money with Kamala and president? Elon Musk. Elon Musk would have made a lot more money with Kamala in charge.
Based on what?
Electric fucking cars, dipshit.
Come on, just let me know what you're drinking. So maybe I'll join you.
Fucking cars, dipshit.
Come on,
Are you
bro.
Stupid? Are you stupid?
Yeah, no, I am. Let me know what you're drinking
Why
so that I
wouldn't
can.
Elon
Let me
Musk
know
make
what
more
you're drinking
money
so I can
off
get to your level.
Kamala
Kamala.
than Trump, dude. Get out of here, dude. You just
What
make shit up. Dude.
what channel is Iraqi Sesame Street on?
You should look for it, dude. You in Iraq or what?
Huh?
$2 million for Guatemalan sex changes? Get
Yes,
outta here,
based.
dude.
Based. You know
Yeah.
what? You know
You
what?
got
It's so
rid of
much
that
better.
Elon
It's so
Musk,
much
dude.
better than the. It's so much better than the billions of dollars that we took out of
Yeah, we're
American
sending,
taxpayer. Let me just tell you something. Just one point. Just one point. Okay. The American taxpayer had to pay billions of dollars subsidizing soybean
right.
farmers. My sentence has not concluded, sir. Subsidizing
So why should we
soybean
pay
farmers
$20 million
because Donald
for
Trump
Iraqi
subsidizing
Sesame
soybean farmers.
Street,
I'm sorry.
dipshit?
I'm so sorry. If you cannot collect your emotions, then we're not gonna be able to have a conversation. Billions of dollars came out of our pocket subsidizing soybean farmers because Donald Trump decided to start a trade war with China that he lost. Now, I know that you guys you follow
Thanks,
the
Obama.
shiny thing, right? You guys cannot have any kind of scope. 20 million versus 40 billion. You guys think, "Oh, well, what's that? A little bit different." No. Billion is 1,000 millions. You guys are worried about $2 million in Guatemalan sex changes, which it doesn't even sound real, but let's go ahead and say it is. $2 million compared to the billions that constantly not only get wasted because of Donald Trump, but just get handed to the top 1%. You don't actually care about spending. You're just drunk.
Hey, I'd rather.
You'd rather go ahead. You'd rather lick the boots of Elon Musk than help others. Yes.
$20 million to Iraqi
Oh,
Sesame
yes.
Street,
No, say
$2
it with your chest.
million
I would rather
Yeah,
suck
dude.
down the leather of Elon Musk's boots than help other countries. Yes, say
Elon
it. Say it with your
Musk
chest.
made trillions off of
Say it with your chest.
Kamala.
I would rather simp for the top 1% and throat their boots. Go ahead and say it, please.
Kamala would have
Kamala.
made Elon Musk richer than Trump, dude. What are you
Based on your
talking
vibes,
about?
based on your
That's all
feelings.
they're
Yes, I understand.
fucking
I
charged,
understand.
dude.
I understand that you like saying that,
They
but
said
just the
$30
tax
billion
cuts
on
alone,
30 electric fucking UPS trucks, dude.
your
Get outta
your
here.
brain, sir, your brain is spilling out. I need you to
They
plug your
said
ears up
$30
because
billion
you're not going to have anything
on
left
30
by the morning.
United States Post Office trucks, dude. 30 billion.
What? What is this like? Twitter talking point final boss? What are you doing?
They spent $30 billion on 30 United States Postal offers electric trucks, dude.
You're wrong. I actually know the thing you're talking about. This has been debunked. Excuse me. This has been debunked. It's 30 states. It is not 30 trucks. It is 30 states. This has been debunked. Okay, I can pull it up for you.
How many trucks?
How many trucks? Well, the spending hasn't finished yet.
Trucks?
The spending hasn't finished yet.
How many trucks?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not that the project isn't over. The project isn't over.
It's 30.
The project has not concluded, sir.
Then tell me how many trucks.
Whatever the number is, the project has not concluded.
Tell me how many trucks.
Okay, I'll pull it up. I got you.
All right, pull it up. How many trucks? 30 billion. How many trucks?
106,000.
106,000. 30 billion. So how much does a truck cost?
106,000. Excuse me. 106,000.
How much does a truck cost? How much does a truck cost? 30 billion, 106,000.
That's not the only thing that it's paying for.
Fucking cost, dude.
Wait. That's not the only thing that's paying for. This is what I'm. Listen.
Question.
Why are you so emotional right now? Okay.
Because I want you to answer the fucking question.
I can't answer the question without reading the article because I didn't get this talking point from X.
30 billion, dude.
Okay.
30 billion. How much? How many trucks?
That's not the okay. Look. I'm gonna walk you through this.
How?
$30 billion is buying 106,000 trucks and other things. Now, I'm going to try to explain to you what those other things are. The problem is there are too many beers in your blood alcohol system for you to stop fucking talking, okay? Jesus Christ.
How many stations do to charge them trucks for that 40 million? How much? How many?
14,000. 14,000. 106,000 vehicles. 14,000 stations. What else do you want? What are your other questions?
How much does each truck cost, dude?
How much does each truck cost? What?
Yes.
What would the number need to?
30 billion. How much does each truck cost?
Oh wait, are the stations free? Do the stations still cost money?
I'm not worried about the stations.
Wait. I know you're not worried because you don't know how math works, and your brain is not. Your brain is not firing. The synapses are not firing. Okay.
For 40 million,
you're in a stupor. The
40 million, dude.
The 30 billion that you're talking about is buying more than just trucks.
I believe you. They built 106,000 trucks.
Okay. The 30 billion.
How much did each truck cost, dude? I believe you. I'm gonna believe you now. All of a sudden, I believe you. They built 106,000 trucks, 30 billion. How much did each truck cost? Tell me.
I don't have that number. I'm not a truck expert.
Do the fucking math. 106 divided by 30 billion.
That's not the right math because more things are.
Motherfucker. Do the math. It's easy. Do the math. Tell me.
Okay. I'm gonna walk you through this. I'm gonna
divided
walk
by
you through
30
this one more time. The $30 billion is not
106,000 divided by 30
is
billion.
not just covering the 106,000 trucks.
What's each one cost, dude?
Each one costs $2,000.
You're a lying sack of shit, dude. Buy $1 million a piece.
Bro.
Buy plus more.
Okay, so first of all, by the way, even if we did your math, it's not $1 million a piece. Just so we're clear, even if we did your math based on your complete smooth brainstem, okay. Even if we do the math, that's not $1 million.
Tell the people the math. 30 billion, 106,000 trucks. How much does each truck cost?
There are more things to pay for than the trucks.
For American taxpayer dollars, how much they cost, dude?
Bro, okay.
Tell the truth.
Okay. This is like let me just give you an example that I think you'll
Just keep
understand.
making shit up, dude.
Let me give you an example that I think you'll understand. Your bill at the diner was $40. Your sandwich cost $13. If
Oh,
I came
my
up to
gas
you and
car
said,
costs
"Hey, how much did the sandwich cost? How much did the sandwich cost?
dude.
Divide 40 by 1.
My
Divide
gas
40 by
car
1.
costs
Do you understand?
$30,000, You're paying $1 million for a car, dude.
Do you
Get
understand?
outta here,
Do you understand that there's more than the sandwich on your bill? Do you understand that there's more than the sandwich
I'm
on your
worried
bill?
about the sandwich. I better my fucking.
Yeah, I know,
tax
I know,
card
because you just eat the shit
for a
sandwich that Trump keeps
$30,000
serving you.
fucking car instead of $1 million car, dude. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
So how much do these car cost? Tell us the truth. 30 billion divided by 106,000. How much do these car cost?
How much did you? So your sandwich costed
I
$40.
can tell you the math away.
Your sandwich costed
You
$40,
can't do
right?
it?
Just so we're clear,
You
your
can't do
sandwich
the
costed
math away.
$40.
What?
Your sandwich cost $40.
How much these car cost?
Did your sandwich on that bill cost $40?
I'm worried about fucking sandwich. I want you to tell me
Yes,
the
because
fucking math, dude.
you're not understanding what I'm telling you. That money, the $30 billion, is not just buying the trucks. It is buying
It
the
was
stations.
by the truck.
It is setting up
That's
the
what it was
infrastructure.
for, dude. That's what the money was fucking for with Congress and everybody. That's what the money was for, dude.
It's not just the trucks.
That's what the money was for.
It's not just the trucks.
That's what it was for.
Chat, your vote counts the same as this
So
guy.
106,000.
This guy voted.
30 billion.
Some of you
How much
stayed
does car
home.
cost?
Some of you stayed home. This guy voted.
How many cars did you pay for, dude? Why don't you just answer it, dude? And what's 106,000 divided by 30 billion? What's the answer?
I don't know, like 200 something thousand. Who cares? That doesn't matter because that's not the only thing that's being paid for.
So we bought a mail truck for 30,000, but we're paying $206,000 on my fucking taxes to pay for it.
Oh,
dude.
bro,
Get
your
out.
taxes are not paying. But believe me, my taxpayer dollars are subsidizing your living. There's no way you're not in a facility right now. Jesus Christ. Chat, that guy votes. That guy votes. If you didn't vote for Kamala because she might be kind of like Biden and you didn't really like Biden's administration, that guy voted. You're letting that guy determine your country. Just so we're clear. That guy votes. Every election, that guy votes. How many trucks were queued?
I would like to apologize for letting Pete Hegseth up on the panel. That was tremendous, let me tell you. You know, Pete's been drinking a lot, and Pete came up to me and he said, I have to come up on Dan's panel. He said I had to tell him how much is at the diner, and I had to tell him what about the trucks? What about the trucks? He came up to me. I said, Pete, you can't be doing that, Pete. You can't be doing. I'm sorry. I'm breaking character. Fuck.
All right, so real quick, we're just gonna go over this 20 million that he was referring to. This is what he's upset about, just so we're clear. $20 million, not thinking about the billions, let alone trillions that we waste because Donald Trump really loves rich people. The $20 million that he was upset about for Iraqi Sesame Street. We're just gonna go over it real quick. We're just gonna go over it. So this is from USAID. This covers a span of 7 years. Is that how that works? 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Covers a span of 6 years. Sorry. As Iraq recovers from years of conflict, communities struggle to find a new sense of normalcy while physical and emotional wounds remain. The legacy of Iraq's conflict with ISIS left many children without a stable home or displaced, especially those from Iraq's ethnic and religious minorities. Additionally, Iraqi youth, who make up over half the population, are unable to find jobs in an economy strained by war and corruption, creating vulnerabilities to radicalization. USAID is partnering with Sesame Workshop to produce Alhan Simsim Iraq, a program designed to promote inclusion, mutual respect, and understanding across ethnic, religious, and sectarian groups. Leveraging the popularity of the Arabic Sesame Workshop show, this show produces culturally tailored, equitable early learning and training opportunities to Iraqi youth in audiovisual production and storytelling to increase their meaningful participation in community dialogue. Impact. Videos aired on popular local TV channels drew high viewership, trained more than 10,000 Iraqi children to cultivate social and emotional learning skills and an appreciation for their identity and diversity of Iraqi society, trained more than 480 youth in soft skills, 460 in filmmaking, and 310 in basic foundational skills, conducted an awareness campaign in 5 schools to raise awareness of climate change and desertification among Iraqi youth. So this is 6 years. Also, by the way, this is all available information. Elon Musk is not discovering this. This is just available on USAID. 6 years, covering 6 years. And the benefits are, first of all, our invasion in Iraq is part of the reason for the current situation there, or at least the situation when we approved this this funding. That's number one. Number two, it's literally, excuse me one second. It's literally a tiny investment to prevent radicalization in that region. Don't we want fewer terrorists? For the small price of $2.6 million a year, we can lead to a more secure region and a safer region and a more secure planet. But we'd rather cut this to continue to line the pockets of Elon Musk and Donald Trump because their boots are very, very tasty. And in the case of that last guest, his diet consists of 2 things: boots and windows. All right, we're gonna go to the next guest. And trucks. Logan, thank you for the $1. We need a clip. How many trucks for the gift audio? Oh my god.
Dan, I'm a friendly, but I had a question. I was just in a Trump live. Is there any way that I might be able to ask you and you can break it down for me?
Sure.
By the way, so nice to talk to you. I watch you all the time and I'm a big fan. But besides the point, I was just talking about Donald Trump's national spending or the deficit under Donald Trump's administration versus Biden's administration. And I was trying to go through the fiscal data.treasury.gov information.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true that Donald Trump spent twice as much than Biden did? Because that's what I was under the impression of, but I was told that's completely incorrect. And
Okay.
I also am having a really hard time navigating this website. So
Yeah, no problem. So this is actually a really common talking point from right-wing lives, which is that this chart right here is incorrect.
you have it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
this chart right here is incorrect because when you look at the debt at the start of Trump's first term and the debt at the end, and then you compare that to the debt at the start of Biden's term and then compare it to the end, less debt was added under Trump than Biden. The problem with that is that that's just looking at the raw numbers, and it's not talking about the net 10-year debt approved, which is what this analysis does. So Donald Trump in 2017 cut taxes on everyone. Let's be clear before MAGA gets triggered, on everyone, but most of which went to the top 1%. 83% of the tax cuts went to the top 1%. Right? That continued through Biden's administration. They want to count those shortfalls under Biden, even though it was a Trump signed policy. So that's the issue with analyzing from the treasury.gov and just taking the raw numbers versus looking closer as to why the raw numbers are like that. So
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
And I'm sorry, I know that's probably something that you guys have brought up before or something like that, and it's pretty redundant, but that makes a lot of sense that it's not giving the full truth or looking at the projected effects that are to come, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you clearing that up for me because I was like, that just doesn't make sense. And
No-
then it just, yeah.
No problem at all. I will warn you, everything I just said does not work on MAGA Live. They will
just deny it.
Yeah, they'll be like, so you're going to ignore the numbers? Facts don't care about your feelings. They don't. know the word nuance. They don't understand analysis. They're just cherry picking this data, by the way, to try to debunk the chart because it's so devastating to their case that they voted for Donald Trump for fiscal responsibility. So, but yeah.
I always appreciate you, Dan. Thank you so much for having me up and clearing that up for me. Thank you
No
so
problem.
much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Can you bring the trucks up to debate? Did you eat? No, not yet. Hi, welcome up.
Can you hear me?
Gastic?
Can you wait? You can hear me?
It's very low. Very low.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hi.
Hello.
What's up?
Well, you requested. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Did I vote for Donald Trump? Did I? I don't remember.
Are you okay? Do you need help?
Yeah, no, I'm okay.
Okay. We're almost at the 4-hour mark of debates. That's usually when I hit the wall. So here's what's going to happen. If you're only here for politics, I love and appreciate every single one of you. But politics are going to be mostly over for tonight. I think we're done with debates for the night. Make sure you're following. We're live Wednesdays to Saturdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be back on Wednesday, 6 p.m. for more debates. So make sure you're following. We are going to hang out for at least another hour. So you're all welcome to stay. But if you're just here for politics, I totally understand. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Here is my plan right now. I need to use the restroom, and then I think I might work out. Okay. I asked to be bullied to work out, and I was bullied today to work out. So I have to honor the bullying. And then I think I'm gonna eat. 72-hour stream from now to Wednesday. If you work out, I will too. Okay. Okay, well, here's what's going to happen. YouTube and Twitch, I think I'm going to end your lives because... Hold on. I am not going to kill anybody. I did not mean... Let me rephrase that. YouTube and Twitch, I'm going to end the YouTube live and the Twitch live. I'm going to end the YouTube live and the Twitch live. You are all safe. I'm going to end the streams. Yes. I'm going to end the streams on YouTube and Twitch because I want to play music while we work out. We could have a group workout. Wait, do you guys want to have a group workout? And I play the music? I think that sounds fun, actually. That sounds really fun. Okay. So YouTube and Twitch, if y'all can do me a favor. I know we can't listen to music on on YouTube I'll get YouTube doesn't like me playing music. I'm too young to die. I just ate a caramel cheesecake portion. Dan is going to pull the plug. Getting my workout gear right now. All right, y'all have time. Okay, so YouTube and Twitch, I love you guys. If you'd like to work out with us, you're gonna have to go to TikTok. If you don't have TikTok, then your data is safe. But anyway, I will see you all on Wednesday, YouTube and Twitchers. Love you guys. Oh, wait, before I end them, if I missed any Twitch bits or Twitch subs, thank you all so much. I am so sorry. I'll figure it out. By Wednesday, I will have the thing on my screen that shows me all of those. Okay. Bye, guys.